Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Siege³ Community Tournament. This is the start of the playoffs. This will be the end to the first season of Siege³, and we are so excited to bring you Honey Badgers versus Banana Dance. This will be the match that decides which team will go up against the Squiggly Boys for the cash prize. And I am not casting alone today. I am joined by my friend, Bemi.
What's good, everybody? I'm back in the zone, ready to do some more Overwatch. How you doing, Spark? It's the playoffs!
Dude, I am so excited. These teams have proven that they are really ready to take these fights, and they've already gotten to the last stretch. These are the top three teams that we're going to be seeing today. These are the ones that really know they want to be here. They're the ones that are going to try their hardest, and we're definitely in for a show. I don't know what exactly that show is going to be, but it's going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to have something to do with Badgers and potassium. So obviously these people are going to be ready to handle some animals and be able to have good muscle fiber. But that's not the case. We are going to start in Lijiang Tower. And obviously, speaking of bananas, we might see a dive starting out here. Why don't you talk about what kind of compositions we should expect and what their goals are?
Well, I know for a fact that Honey Badgers has not always been going with the sort of vanilla team compositions you like to expect. I play with some of the players on Honey Badgers, especially this lineup right here. I play with two of them very regularly, and there's a specific type of team composition that they might be willing to pull out here just to surprise Banana Dance, and that would be something I like to call the unblockable comp. You know, you take Genji and a Doomfist and a Winston and a Reinhardt, and it's just so much damage that can't be blocked by barriers or defense matrix, and it can be really, really good for deleting a front line. Sometimes I also like to throw in an Ana, an extra bit of CC pressure, keep the shields up, even though it's not blocking anything but key abilities. And if they end up running something like that, it could really be interesting to watch. But more likely, especially from Banana Dance, and you can see them locking it in now, is the Pharmacy. We are almost definitely going to see that played almost the entire match because we don't seem to have any hit scans coming out from the Honey Badgers. So Fuzz God on the Pharmacy on Banana Dance is definitely one to watch. But Pierce is going to make the last-minute swap onto the Widow, so that's a duel in general to keep your eye on.
A duel in general. The environmental kill could come into play very, very soon, but they do manage to get out of the way. Fuzz God is not going to be able to get that kill. Mirror Bright is going down very, very quickly, taking a lot of damage, but Tommy's going to be going down, but the res is forced out. But Fuzz God's going to keep that initial pressure, punishing Sal for the res. I have not seen that before, and that is already going to be the point right then and there. The team fight is won. They understand that their main support gone is not going to be a winnable fight.
Yeah, it was very, very unlucky for Sal. Axel knew exactly what was happening. They knew the res was going to be trying to come out to save Tommy retroactively. Axel was very proactive about it and prevented that from really happening to the extent that the Honey Badgers wanted. So it looks like the Honey Badgers are still trying to push their way over the bridge, but they have to be really careful. Fuzz God on the Pharmacy is going to make it really difficult for them to take space here. They're already considering going back the other way. You can see it in their movement. Looks like they're going to go directly to the point here.
Yeah, going main is probably a good idea, especially when you have that Winston. Wesley could drop the bubble and be able to try to protect their team. They're doing the best they can right now. They are getting a little bit overwhelmed, but the sound barrier, even though they're far apart, is going to get quite a couple of members and keep them alive, but that is going to be Sal by themselves, and there's the D-Mech coming in right now. Marble is Diva Mechless, so that is very unfortunate, but there's the Barrage coming in, and Fuzz God's going to be able to wipe out Sal. The only kill they find, but that is still a crucial kill, but it seems like the team has already taken out quite a few members already, and with the Lucio Radiant healing going on, they are able to overwhelm Tracer. The Tracer is not going to be able to overwhelm or be able to flank quite properly yet because due to the fact that they are just barely living. Cologne comes in, Tommy drops the Dragon Blade, they do find one kill, and there's the Pulse Bomb. Pierce is able to keep it through. They have dropped a lot of ults just to try to turn this point around, not even to build percentage, and that is a big thing to say. Cologne finds Tommy. Oh my god, may not be able to win this fight. They are going back and forth. Pulse Bomb coming back around. Lucy almost gets eaten by it. There it is, the Diva Bomb being bubbled back up, trying their best to come back to it. Now there is middle kill that's just almost gonna live on a prayer. They did manage to get a little bit of the sound barrier going on. That looks fine. The Radiant healing coming in from Quesadilla is going to be great. A delicious sandwich from the Hispanic culture is doing good. And Hippomage is going to be able to get that D-Mech, though. That might be able to turn the tide, but there is the trade-off. But Axel, with the Tesla cannon, is going to be able to finally turn this around. And we might finally saw some lines of who's going to win this fight. And it looks like it's going to be on the side of Banana Dance. They managed to be able to hold this so well, but they've been dropping ults very, very quickly. There's been so much back and forth. They're already reaching at 99%. They have been going back and forth. One ult at a time. Fuzz God drops that barrage. Doesn't find any kills, but at least found one Hippo Mage earlier before they dropped it, so nicely done there. They find Wesley. Primal Rage coming in for Axel. Finds Pierce. Nicely done. Swings him out of the way. Wesley's going to get the res, but that is going to be all there is. That's not going to help them all out unless there's a great Dragon Blade from Tommy, but Tommy's trying to find a good opening, maybe at least D-Mech mill kill, but there is the Viva Bomb coming out very, very soon, but things have been going so fast they may not even know if they have it or not. They're doing the best they can right now. This is a back and forth fight I've never seen before. This is a great first fight. Millkill's going to be able to get D-Mech on Marble. If they can stagger it for a little bit longer, they can do the best they can. Cologne's going to follow up on that. Fuzz God's doing great. Wesley gets punched down, and there's the boot for Quesadilla. That actually might be it. They finally have Tommy left. Tommy will go down very soon. Once again, another boop, and that's it.
That was absolutely the longest fight I have ever seen in my entire Overwatch career. And you know what? Despite the fact that it went 99-0, if nothing else, this just proves how evenly matched these teams are. Were it not for that early on pick onto Tommy that forced a secondary pick onto Sal, that let Banana Dance cap the point at first, you can tell that in the mid fight, when these teams are really duking it out, when it comes down to their mechanics and their target focus, these teams are really evenly matched. It really could come down to who caps the point first over and over again, because it looks like they're just hitting their heads against walls every time they go up to fight each other. They just trade back and forth, and none of them can seem to land any ultimates that are high enough value to outpace the value of the opponent ultimates. Anyways, here in Control Center, we're probably going to see some more Death Ball style team compositions with Lucio, Reinhardt's, and it looks like we're also going to have a McCree Junkrat from the Honey Badgers, which is really interesting. I really want to see Pierce's influence from the McCree. Looks like he's going to immediately find Quesadilla as soon as he takes this sightline, and there is nothing on the side of Banana Dance to actually shut him down at this range. It was a really smart pick from the Honey Badgers. Now that they don't have Quesadilla, looks like they're going to start moving in.
Yeah, they are moving in as quick as they can. Wesley is, however, getting taken down very, very quickly, and they need to get that res on. They are going to go down ultimately. Pierce finds Fuzzgod, though, so unfortunately, they don't even need the Junkrat to even push through since they took out the main take right away. But Pierce is working overtime. I guess they were trying to read into maybe a flanking DPS, but they just got Pierce just popping off with the flashbang. The High Noon's already ready. They're trying to get Axel down, but they're only going to just be able to break the shield, understandably. So there's so much damage going on. Marble's able to get Axel. Great stuff with the bubbles.
We gotta watch Cologne here. He's got the grab. He could easily move in and just finish the fight off immediately.
You're absolutely right.
For it. He only gets the one, though.
This Marble only there. They're trying their best. Fuzzgod does be able to take out Marble ultimately, so that's going to be a good pick. There's the Earth Shatter, a huge shatter, taking out Cologne and Millkill. But Wesley's going to go down ultimately, actually, and not Cologne. A very interesting turn of events, and there is already, once again, them taking the fight to spawn because they don't want this 99 versus 99 makeshift kind of hold.
And now you can see, again, it's sort of exactly like I said. These teams are so evenly matched in the mid-fight. No one seems to be able to find enough value to really shut down the push effectively. Looks like that Beach Out's going to stall the tire out, but it might do something. Pierce manages to take it out. Even though the self-destruct gets Hippo Mage, it could still go either way. Unfortunately, Wesley's charge was a little misplaced, and it might finally go to the way of the Banana Dance here, as the Honey Badgers are forced to back out and reassess their strategy. Pierce might be swapping heroes right now. We're going to see. Hippo Mage is going to go onto the Ana, see if she can land a nice Bio-Nade to shut down the healing sources from Banana Dance. Now we have another Riptire coming out, this time from the Honey Badgers, but Fuzzgod knows where it's coming from. It might get somebody. It's going around for the back line. It's going to take out Cologne, and Axel is also down to the pressure from Pierce on the front. Now there's no front line from the Banana Dance, so Honey Badger's going to surge forward and see what happens.
Pierce did also get that pick off of Axel, so that's going to be great. Switching over to the Reaper, I was a little bit worried, but it seems to be the target prioritization is working out quite well and effectively. Fuzzgod almost going to go down, and that is going to be it. Pierce gets Mirror Bright, and they managed to turn around this point effectively to their stand. But 99% from Banana Dance, that's a lot better than what we saw from last map, even though it was a very good map overall last month.
Absolutely. So now that they have the point, they have to be really careful not to lose their ultimate advantage, which is already incredibly slight. And now with the use of grab, they completely lose it. They need to get something. The shatter is massive with the follow-up from the grab. Can they get Wesley out? That's going to be the real decider of this fight. And unfortunately, he's going to fall. So they have to survive this Riptire. If they don't, the point immediately flips right back into the favor of Banana Dance. And unfortunately, it looks like that's going to happen.
Yeah, a sound barrier plus a Riptire coming at you. It's just high health enemies with also a high damage tire that's moving at you at 100 miles per hour. Going to be dangerous. Also, that grab is going to be great. But the Death Blossom from Pierce is going to come in, but it's only going to get Fuzz. That's the Wick going down, and we are going to see a 2-0.
Unfortunately, just getting Fuzz God isn't enough. He needed to get all three. If he could have done that, maybe there's a chance he could have turned it all by himself, but it was a slim chance to begin with, so I think he should be proud of himself just for taking out the real damage dealer from the team in the first place. Anyways, we're going to now move on to Night Market. This could be game point for Banana Dance. If they manage to take this home, the first map will go in favor of Banana Dance, and Honey Badgers will have a bit of an uphill climb.
It's a best of 5, that's right.
It is a best of 5.
I apologize for my ignorance. We're going the old school route of this control point map, and you know what? That's fine. I'm sure Banana Dance or either team wouldn't complain that much here at match point right now, or I would say the Honey Badgers for sure. We might be expecting to die, but I also like Tommy going on this May, but never mind. They are going to switch on over to the Tracer, a flanking DPS or a zoning DPS. Either way works out, but we'll see how both work out here. It looks like we're going to see Deathball working out pretty much in the long run. As long as they can get through that shield and bubbles coming in from the Zarya and Reinhardt, they could do fine. They got to be careful with Hippo Mage as well. They could Biotic Grenade. A lot of them, they're doing the best they can. They're going right to the point, falling back. But Marble's going to get Axel, but the trade is still working out. Reinhardt's are down. So it's a matter of getting crucial kills with DPS. FuzzGod and Tommy are going to be asked a lot, especially Pierce as well. Pierce does find Quesadilla. That's going to be great. And that's going to be actually the rest of the fight right there. Mill kill is going to be DMX, but that's pretty much a kill right there technically in itself, because it's so hard to get a lot of ult charge back up to remeching. It's very risky. Pierce does find the Storm Arrow kill, and that is a great pen coming in from Axel, but it's not going to find much more after that. Wesley mana boost is going to be pretty much a sight to behold, pretty much.
You know, these fights are lasting such a long time, and I think it might have something to do with how the DPS are playing around their tanks, or more particularly, the way the tanks are trying to make space for DPS. I'm not sure it quite lines up with the goals of the DPS. So, for instance, you might see Wesley moving forward to take some more aggressive space, when really what his DPS need is just to stay right where they are and take shots from range, just sort of as an example of what I'm seeing so far. Now, at this point, the grab is going to get used. We'll see if there's any follow-up on that. There's a massive nade coming in from Hippo Mage, which actually manages to keep his front line up long enough for it to become a 3v3. Hippo Mage might fall to the... That's an amazing sleep onto Mirror Bright. It completely stops the Coalescence, but not before Hippo Mage falls. At this point, it's only a 1v2. This is actually winnable for Tommy if he wants to make a play here. It's down to the 1v1.
Oh, he gets FuzzGod.
It's now just him and Cologne. Wesley's back to touch point. He could stall long enough for his team to get here. One nice pin could be enough. The bubble's there, but he is going to fall. If someone can touch point, they could flip it fairly fast. It looks like no, they might just want to back out and wait for Wesley to get back. Now, they do have a slight ultimate advantage. They're going to use their Graviton immediately, but the Shatter's there to prevent any follow-up. The supports are down for the Honey Badgers, and Marble has to go a long way home thanks to a well-placed set of dragons. Wesley, you might not want to be moving forward right now, buddy.
Yeah, they're doing the best they can. They gotta fall back, and I understand they're regrouping as well. They're pushing on through. Oh my gosh! That is such a damage-dealing pressure. Milko also getting the Roadhog is going to be great. They take out Wesley. There's the Sleep Dart coming in. And that sort of puts Axel in an awkward corner. If they could have utilized upon that, they might have been able to work out. But right now, they're just trying to deal as much damage as they can and as much range and much mobility as they can as well. They're doing the best they can. They putting the best foot forward. Any synonyms you want to say for doing their best?
So right now, Wesley really needs to land a Shatter here, because if he doesn't, nothing happens. He gets 4. That's huge. The pin already secures a kill. It's down to a 4v4. We'll have to see what happens. Still trading evenly, just like we've seen in fights so far, but it might not be enough.
Fortunately, not the case. It was pretty solid. 80% left on the board. Can they make it? We only have yet to see how this goes down for them. They got to be careful. Milko could easily hook them and get the 3-0.
Now, King of the Hill would not be the end-all be-all if they lose this, but they have to keep in mind it's still winnable. Just because they lost their Ana does not mean they're out. Wesley goes a little bit deep with his charge. They're probably going to collapse on him. This could give the rest of the Honey Badgers time to collapse onto the Banana Dance backline, and they actually managed to cap the point. What an incredible bait from Wesley. It might not have been intentional, but it was an incredible play nonetheless. And at this point, Honey Badgers are actually winning the fight thanks to a little bit of bad positioning on Wesley's part. That's actually very, very impressive. They have to be careful though, because Banana Dance has a lot of ultimates to use. Unfortunately, Sal falls to the dragon and the rest of them get shattered. The B drops there to follow up, and it looks like the grab is unfortunately not going to find anything. It was the last push. He had to use it. No use not using it just to lose the game. It's not like you can bring it into the next map, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. The Wick is about to go down, and I don't think there's actually much time to contest this apart from this right now. It looks like Sal's going to go down right away, and yeah, that's going to be the 3-0 right there.
All right, so Banana Dance will take home Lijiang Tower. Some great show of force from Banana Dance. They are proving they came here to win. They are not going to be bullied. They absolutely want what they came here for.
Yeah, very solid stuff. Good target prioritization. It was very, very efficient, and like especially with the long hold, it was staggering just one all at a time, but they saved it for which ones they wanted. It came down ultimately when they were running the Divas, getting the D-Max, when there was also on Command Center, when they were running the map. They were taking the fight to spawn, but they were being very, very careful because they wanted to make sure that they earth shattered the Zarya, so that way there was no points of grabs. Mm-hmm. And overall, this was just a very solid hold altogether. I think what really was just sort of the definitive thing for them was just the target prioritization, because they made sure to like get the main tanks out of the way first, and then focused on getting the DPSs, because really in the long run, or just the supports as well, just who is ever in front, because basically you're trying to work on them like a Russian doll. Starts with the tanks, then to the supports, and then the DPSs, because the DPSs can deal as much damage as they want, but they have no healing, and they're really just squishy themselves.
Exactly. You sort of want that domino effect. You don't want to be caught in those long team fights where you're just sort of hoping your DPS can frag out. You really want to pick a key target on the enemy team and take it out so the rest of them sort of collapse because of it. Anyways, it looks like we're going to be going to Dorado for the next game. A fast pick coming from the Honey Badgers. Looks like they know exactly what they're trying to do here. So on Dorado, you tend to see a lot of dive-based team compositions. We may even see some Hammond come out here, depending on how comfortable the players feel. It looks like on the defense, at least, we may end up seeing some Orisa Roadhog, although it could be a bit early in the pregame to tell. Like I was saying before, dive is very popular on this first point, especially on offense, because it gives you a way to contest all the different high ground very, very quickly. You know, you don't want to be playing a static comp and be forced to stand there when there's a Hanzo on the red building to the left of spawn and a Widow on the yellow building to the right of your spawn. And it's not pretty if that ends up being the case. So it looks like on offense here, we are going to see a dive composition. It looks like a traditional dive comp with Lucio Zenyatta, which I admit I have not seen played in a very long time. But it does make sense with the slightly less powerful healing available from Mercy since her most recent change. The raw healing that she brings to a team composition isn't always enough to make or break a team fight anymore, whereas the utility of a speed boost and a Discord Orb it's still just as powerful as ever. Meanwhile, on defense, we are going to see the Orisa Roadhog composition. It's going to be a triple tank double sniper, actually. You may remember it was popular for a while in, I believe, Stage 4 of the Overwatch League, where the strategy would be to get your snipers on two varying lines of sight so they could both shoot down onto the same low ground. And that sort of forces the team that's getting shot at to pick a direction to block damage from. But of course, it's instant kills, so a single mistake means someone on your team is dead, and once you're a man down, it's too late. So on this team, on the defending side from the Honey Badgers, you definitely want to keep an eye on the snipers. On the offense, you want to make sure you're keeping track of the tanks to see if they can shut down those snipers. We'll have to see what happens here.
Well, hopefully... Oh my god, Tommy right off the back end, the flanker though, so that's obviously not going to be overwhelmed. And oh my god, Pierce right now! Yeah, you want to pay attention to these snipers because they're making Dorado, making a Dorado don't even come near us, fam. as a great hook is coming in right now, but it does miss it a little bit. Just a little oversight, but it does put the fear in the eyes of Milkill. They're laying this payload push because they know that the choke is going to be a very good place to hold on defense. And already right off the bat, they're doing a great hook. And they get the D-Mech as well. That is the reward that they want to get, especially with Tommy being able to follow up. That's going to be great. A lot of damage. There is an Axial popping in from the left side on defense spawn side. Is going to be a little bit risky, and they get the hook, but the bubble comes in, allows them to fall back. They're laying this payload. They're being very respectful, but unfortunately, that is the case with Orisa Roadhog. Is Orisa lacks mobility, so the moment you overwhelm them, it's going to be hard to come back from it. But Tommy and Pierce are definitely putting up a good fight, but Marble's getting close to getting D-Mech, and there is a great pulse bomb from Pierce. Oh my gosh, they managed to take this point very convincingly.
Now, very early on, with those opening picks, it's very interesting. They actually set up that crossfire just like I was talking about before, where they sent Tommy all the way around behind the attackers, and that's actually where all of Tommy's kills came from. But also, so far, the snipers on the Honey Badgers are already proven they are a force to be reckoned with. You cannot leave these DPS players unattended. If someone is not actively attacking them, they will kill your backline. And I think that if the Banana Dance is going to be on top of that, but they might not be on top of it quite yet. Milk is trying his best to keep Tommy from taking these shots, but he's going to have to back up eventually.
Yeah, it's a lot of fallback that they have to do. They just got to be respectful for the most part. This is a matter of who has the better etiquette, and I mean making sure Tiger prioritization works, dropping the whole hog as well, eating the Matrix, just fair trades going out. You just gotta be careful and see what they do about this kind of stuff, because you need to just sort of bait out ults as much as you can in this case. And there's the Dragon Blade coming in. Are they able to stop Fuzzgut? Dead in the track. Yes, they will. Tommy is able to stop this right now. Nicely done. Marble's able to get the follow-up kill, and the rest of the gang is just working on that supercharger. Wesley bringing the team home and bringing the hold in.
Beautiful supercharger, absolutely locked down the team fight, and with only one ultimate. That's the key point. If you look now, they are not that far behind in the ultimate economy. They're very close to a rocket barrage, and Sal's Valkyrie is attainable within the next team fight. They have to be very careful about the pulse bomb coming out from Cologne. If that lands onto Wesley, he might be very close to some of his team, and Wesley won't be that difficult to stick. So Wesley might not be the target of a pulse bomb, but because of how they usually are setting up behind this small shield, it could still be really, really damaging. Axel's going to start to push up here, pressure the high ground. I expect they'll have to drop back down. Pulse bomb is going to whiff, and the self-destruct is coming out. We'll see if that gets anything.
Ooh.
Unfortunately, Quesadilla knocked out of his ultimate. That's unfortunate for them.
Yeah, but very fortunate for the Honey Badgers, as they are going to still try keeping this hold. They have so much in the time bank to deal with right now. And that's a great barrage from Pierce as well. They go down to Mirror, but that's a double kill. The damage has already been done. Looking pretty solid here. And then honestly, in this hindsight, it is not the worst thing to do with a couple of dry pushes at the moment, which I think is what we're seeing right now, is that they're just trying to build up these ultimates because they have so much time in the time bank to work with.
You can see the Banana Dance, even though they recently committed some of their ultimates, they already have Transcendent, Self-Destruct, and Pulse Bomb all built up again, and they can now come into this next fight. That's a beautiful stick on the Pierce 09, knock the Pharah out of the sky with a Pulse Bomb. That's so amazing. Now the dive comes through on the Sal. Tommy's not enough, and the tanks are probably just going to be left to fend for themselves on the low ground with no healing.
Have they gone far enough? We'll see. There's the self-destruct happening. Not going to be the case. It is going to have Marble get D-Mech, though. Milkill at least keeps that momentum, but somebody's got to be pushing this payload. They got to try a little bit. There you go. They are going to try to get it close, but I think we're going to see one contest real quick, unless nobody's going to touch it. Yes, they
are touching.
Not.
They are touching. It looked like it capped, but it actually is not. The time is not going to month. They only have 1 point, and it looks like the Honey Badgers are actually winning this fight ever so slowly. That's such a last-second contest. It literally thinks there are zero meters left before the cart hits the checkpoint. But no, there is actually some space left, and it is now rolling back.
That is like literally handing in your homework last minute in high school. Man, those were the days. But either way, we'll see what this brings us now with those last minute calls. It's pretty impressive. I guess it's paid out in the long run. Hopefully their education as well. We'll see how the push is going. We gotta hold on. They dive. Cologne trying to get the pulse bomb out. Ooh, that's a good one. Does get a
nice pick on a Mirror Bright. The dive comes on to Tommy. They have to commit both tanks to it, and Tommy still gets out. Unfortunately, with no resources for the backline, the rest of the Banana Dance is gonna fall.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of stuff right now, and there is the SD, tactical SD coming in from Millkill, and you know, this is a solid hold right now. They are just trying their best to just make sure to buy a lot of time. What seemed like a very last minute push. I think honestly the hero switching over for Pierce instead of the double sniper and having one sniper to one flanking DPS really worked out.
Now, it looks like Banana Dance has swapped over to a Goats composition. You got 3 tanks, 3 healers. I'm not sure I like that because Tommy has been absolutely breaking apart the backline of Banana Dance so far, so if they don't win this fight really decisively on the ground, Tommy is just going to take free shots for days. They are getting kills. They managed to land Wesley and Hippo Mage, but Tommy is still up, and he's the real threat in this fight. Tommy's going to the other high ground. Sal is chasing. If Tommy lands shots, this is still winnable for the Honey Badgers, but unfortunately the shots are just not there. Tommy's just not hitting the shots when he really needs to, so it looks like the point is going to be capped for Banana Dance.
When in doubt, Goats, right?
When in doubt, Goats.
We'll definitely see how this works out in the long run for them, as they are just going to work with the ults that they have. 1 minute 40 seconds left in the time bank. I respect this 100%. They are just going to be aggressive as they can, and it looks like it's working out great for them.
Now you may notice that Cologne has actually picked up his grab only 1 fight after swapping to Zarya, which is some of the most impressive Zarya play I have ever seen. Looks like we are going to see the rally coming out here. They expect Honey Badgers to get very aggressive. The grab only manages to get 1, but it might be enough to finish out the team fight. Not the most high value ultimate in the world. Pierce going to flank around to the side. He wants to get them off the card. Unfortunately, the peel is there in the form of a pin from Axel.
Wow.
Shove him into the wall. Tell him how it is. The bomb is out from Diva, but that's not going to get any confidence to a well-played shield from Axel. The fight's still happening at the choke point. Honey Badgers can't seem to get out.
Yeah, they are having a little bit of a rough time here. Wow, look at that damage. Oh my gosh, Mirrorbright getting a double kill with their orb, no less. Doesn't even matter about the coalescence. This is pretty solid stuff. This is just like a pack of piranhas.
Absolutely. I mean, that's kind of how you want to play these tank-heavy team compositions now. Pierce has no Wraith form, but unfortunately it's not going to be enough with just the raw damage. Hippo Mage is going to touch, and he's got a Valk to keep him up, but it's not enough to do that, and unfortunately, Sal's sort of forced away from the cart, and the cap will come through.
Frickin'
That was
Goats.
some great play, though, from the defending team. It's just unfortunate Tommy didn't manage to take out that Lucio or that Moira on second point. They absolutely could have taken it home, holding them in the streets phase of the game. Unfortunately, just didn't come to fruition. So swapping sides here, I'm very curious to see if the defending team, Banana Dance, now also runs an Orisa Roadhog strategy. And it looks like Axel is going to lock in an Orisa, and Milk will lock in a Roadhog, so that might be the case. Is the double sniper going to get run again, though?
Double sniper? I don't think so, honestly. I think both teams have learned their lessons from the side of Honey Badgers that you don't necessarily run the double sniper DPS, and here's the reason why. Is because the snipers at the very beginning of the point, while there's little to no high ground advantage, especially when you run against a dive. And the thing is that the reason why you have that flanking DPS is to have your prominent DPS sniper be able to work comfortably. If they're in a comfortable workspace, this is just in general with any hero or just anything in life, but if you're in a comfortable workspace, you're going to be able to work efficiently at your highest peak, and that's what they need to do. So honestly, the fact that we might see that again would be very surprising. We are going to see the death ball coming in, the 3-2-1 once again, and also it's going to be the Moira Zenyatta as the supports, which are big things to pay attention for because they're trying to predict a lot of things. They're trying to be a Swiss Army knife big time. They're trying to predict the Pharah. The Moira has a lot of reach and allows folks to get healed, the radiant healing as well. They're also trying to predict flanks, especially with Quesadilla. If you have a good charge ball Zenyatta that's able to react very quickly, then that's definitely good as well, especially with Millkill could actually come back and help, and especially with the splash damage. And then Cologne and Axial will be fine because they have a lot of power, especially if you charge up Zarya. So you want to pay attention to see how these tanks work out on the defense side, and you want to see if the Pharmacy is able to get any picks along with Hippo Mage flanking.
All right, so Hippo Mage, speaking of flanking, is going to be sort of poking around the background right now. He wants to go for a hack. You can see it. He's gonna uncloak. There's the hack. I couldn't tell who it was. Onto Axel, and unfortunately, Axel has picked a horrible time to drop down off of the high ground. That's gonna allow the Honey Badgers to surge forward a little bit, see what they can get. Marvel actually managed to pick up Casey, and now we have Pierce on the Widowmaker up top. He's gonna be trying to take shots over the shield, but the halt is there, and Pierce is actually gonna die. A really great halt from Axel, telling him you cannot stand there. Wesley's moving around the side now. Gonna see if he can make any space for Tommy on the far, but FuzzGod is there to make him sort of back up and think it through a little bit cleaner. Now the 3 tanks Cologne actually gets hacked, but the shield is there. FuzzGod falls, and with a lack of a damage threat, Wesley's going to take the opportunity to move in now. The hook doesn't find anything. Tommy might be flying a little close to the ground, but he's got Sal to keep up. Wesley commits even further into the backline. Hippo Mage is there. Looks like he wants to go on to Quesadilla, who is now needing help, but he's not going to get it. The Valkyrie comes out from Sal, and I think that will actually lock the fight down. As I say that, the Coalescence comes through. It could still go either way. Hippo Mage still in the back. He wants to try to hack Mirror Bright. That'll force the Coalescence out so it can't interact with the grab. But the grab managed to get 2, and that actually kills Wesley all on its own thanks to some help from Milk. And it looks like Honey Badgers is going to go for the res, but now they're going to have to back up a little bit because they are lacking Pierce, which would normally be the bulk of their damage for a team fight. They're actually going to commit a little bit, but Supercharger should make them realize that this is not a great position to be in. Wesley and Sal are going to fall thanks to a well-placed dragon from FuzzGod there.
Yeah, very impressive stuff, especially the fact that Tommy, the Pharaoh, was not really contested all that much. They kind of understood that if they stayed together as a group and they trusted their Moira to give some healing, they could do very, very well. And also the Discord orb shots, I think, were also a very big thing from Quesadilla as well, because you could see that there was a very good level of communication going on here. So the point is that they also understand during the pharmacy what are the two crucial one of the two most crucial parts, taking out the Mercy, because the Pharah's only going to last for so long, but you know, a Mercy could last forever, and that's what they did, and that's going to be great. So now you want to see if they are going to be careful about Tommy. They got the barrage, and they're going to try to flank around, so that's going to be a big prioritization for them.
Absolutely. Wesley's peeking around the left side. He wants to get on someone. He might have... There's the EMP. They're going to combo with the bomb. Let's see if that gets anything. It gets
my God!
Absolutely incredible combo. They actually probably did not need the barrage or the primal rage, but it is going to lock them in the team fight either way. They have to worry about some ult economy issues, though, I might notice.
Yeah, they're going to have to endure a couple of dry pushes, but that definitely solidified it, and they really needed to be able to take that point very soon because there was a hold that was lasting for a long time. Sal going down is not going to help their case either way, but now that they have 3.5 minutes to work with, they should be pretty much fine. They're going to try to bait up the Transcendence and the Coalescence. That's their big thing. The Whole Hog, they can be knocked back all they want. They got enough healing to go behind their backs. So as long as they're able to just sort of be able to bait those out, and even some of the other ults, they should be good to go. They may even dare just try to stay as a group together to bait out even the grab Hanzo strike as well.
Yes. Yeah, if they can get some of their backline to group together, it'll be a really great way to bait the Graviton into a defense matrix. Unfortunately, the Grav gets through, and the Dragons and Coalescence are both there. Neither get eaten by the defense matrix. The Deadeye has some follow-up, but it's still probably going to go to the way of Banana Dance unless Marble makes a really good play here. You know, as I say all this, Pierce is still hitting shots. Milk got down to half, and he has no healing now. With nothing to stop him, Pierce is just going to keep shooting people. Tommy's on top of FuzzGod, and it looks like Banana Dance are going to be forced to back up.
Banana Dance are forced to back up. They have to dance their way back. They got to be careful, especially Pierce was just left with the high ground advantage. And when you leave attack with the high ground advantage with nothing to contest, that in Dorado is so scary. It's going to allow them to get information, take pot shots, and if you're McCree, you can see a very good opening for Deadeye.
Absolutely. So this is going to start off with a pick onto the McCree from FuzzGod. The res is there, and the Transcendence will also keep them up throughout the Whole Hog. The Deadeye comes in from Pierce. It's not going to find anything, but Axel's shield is very low. They need to get someone on Cologne who's on the high ground. Unfortunately, Pierce gets hooked and will instantly die. This is going to force the Honey Badgers to back up, reassess the situation, figure out what direction they want to push from, and hopefully FuzzGod doesn't manage to take anyone out as they're backing up. Hippo Mage is going to get around the corner. He's going to peek the next one. Yes, he is. Tommy is up top, still just taking pot shots.
Tommy is up top there, and they will have the information that they need. But there's Tommy switching over to the Pharah is going to be Tommy just running the Pharah is going to be a good idea. Now you're going to see the flanking try to come around, but they have to honestly, essentially switching over these heroes at a very close time bank. It's a very high risk, high reward situation. They just need to make sure that they are able to bite a lot of ults and be able to flank around and get the reward. But Sal going down is not going to be good for any type of Pharah flank.
No, this is, no matter what way you spin it, there is no way they can push this without Sal being alive. They need that Valkyrie to ensure that the barrage gets into a good spot, and without it, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, it's a lot of hard work that they need to go through. It's just weird. It's very 50 seconds left on the clock. They need to bait out a lot of ults and also be able to drop theirs in the most efficient way. They drop the Valkyrie just to see if they can push through with what kind of makeshift, but I think splitting up as a group is not really helping. They really need to just go 5-1 and just try to see if they can bait out the fight. There's the Diva Bomb coming in, and that was a very awkward play. Ooh.
Wesley is going to get onto Cologne in the backline with his Primal Rage. Doesn't want to take in free shots. Now he just wants to cause some trouble here on the point and see if he can force Quesadilla's trance maybe. The frags are coming in from the DPS on the side of the Honey Badgers with a great barrage from Tommy. Unfortunately shut down by Quesadilla's even greater Transcendence. Axel is still up, but they are completely outnumbered, outpositioned, and they're getting outmaneuvered. The Dragon is here. Sal might fall into it, but he's not quite going to. It looks like they can get this capped into the point, but I have to be very careful not to let Cologne take free shots on them. The point is going to get capped.
Point will get capped, and that is good on them. It was just pretty much, it was a very awkward situation, but they managed to push on through due to the fact that they had a plan. Their plan all along was very complicated, but it was baiting out ults and trying to drop their flanks, and sometimes, you know, it may not work out in the long run, and you may have to do a couple hero switches and change the plan a little bit, but they had a skeletal structure to that plan, and it worked out great, managing to get the tanks out of the way, bite the ults, and then push on through. Now they have a minute left. They may not be able to reach it, but now this is a good moment to push on through. This is their do or die moment.
You may notice that for the first time in a long time, the Honey Badgers actually have an ult advantage. They have their Transcendence, they're coming up on Valk, and they have positional advantage. They're controlling the high ground and all the space around where they want the cart to go. But unfortunately, Wesley's gonna get a little too aggressive with it. Might go for the res, but I don't see it happening. Deadeye's there, and unfortunately, Sal's gonna fall into it. Hippomage's Transcendence does not block Deadeye damage, unfortunately. Marble is gonna commit onto the point. I think they've decided this is going to be their last push, so they need to get kills. Marble's just trying to stay alive from the Coalescence, and it's gonna happen. He gets back into his mech, and the frags are coming through. Wesley should be back any second now. They need to keep Marble up. Pierce also needs some healing, and so this is getting a little bit rough. The self-destruct is out. We'll see if it gets anyone. It's not going to. Wesley fragging out in the back line of Banana Dance. This could absolutely still get capped. It's just Milk left. Now Axel's here too, but Milk is demexed, so it's still pretty much just one person because Baby Diva isn't really a person. And now the cart is finally going to get pushed into the third point.
Wait, want to rephrase that a little bit? Divas are people, okay? We
Listen.
Yeah?
Listen, when you're playing Reinhardt and you're on the high ground,
yeah.
And the Diva knows what they're doing enough to boop you off the high ground, that's not a person, that's a monster.
Here's the real question. Why are you Reinhardt on high ground? That's my other...
If you're McCree.
Well,
you got a McCree. McCree wants high ground. He also wants a big blue rectangle.
Really? As opposed to, like, I don't know, a shield from Marissa, where there's also the stun that makes it a little bit easier to get those kills and picks for McCree? Well, you know, fair enough. Yeah.
You know. The same concept applies.
I guess sometimes.
No, let me rephrase. Good divas aren't people.
Okay. I see. I understand now. All right. Fair enough. All right. Well, if you hear that, Fisher, you're not a real person. So with that being said, discerning whether people are real or not, we must say that fight was very real and a very scary moment for the Honey Badgers, but they did pull through and they managed to hold on to dear life and push on through. Why? Because they managed to target prioritization. Again, I cannot emphasize the importance of this enough, and the fact that they also managed to stagger the Diva mech was so big, because that was basically, like you said, not a real person, but like in the sense that they were able to just sort of have not a lot of firepower or contest this. So now running the Deathbolt once again, or actually they're running Goats. No, they're running Deathbolt, but it is triple tank, double support. We gotta see if FuzzGod is able to live up to the hype and be able to get quite a lot of picks. There is some shield that they need to go through to pick off squishies.
So, I mean, you can see the DPS or Honey Badgers are trying to find angles. Marble sort of peeking above and Tommy up top to the side, but they got to keep track of FuzzGod and Quesadilla as well. They're very big threats from Banana Dance. And it looks like Milk is going to get DMAX, but Hippomage is low. He's going to need a little support. Unfortunately, he's going to fall. Damage is still being applied to the front line of Banana Dance. Marble hitting shots up top as the Pharah shuts down the Zenyatta really early on, which is great. He's not going to get a Transcendence for a while, Quesadilla. Now they're just trying to focus down Axel, and this is kind of cleanup. Wesley commits with a pin again. It's just cleanup. They are going to cap the point. Mirror Bright's trying to escape, but he might not be able to, depending on whether or not DBS can hit some shots at some extreme range here. Now, I would be very, very worried if I were the Honey Badgers about trying to cap this to completion using Reinhardt and Zarya. It might have worked first point, but here on second point, the Winston that you see on the minute is probably going to cause some problems.
It's definitely going to cause some problems once Hippo Mage catches up with them, because the Zenyatta ain't going to run away from that Tesla cannon, and they need those Discord orbs, because they just need to make sure that they are able to have them come to them as opposed to them going to the opponent, because this is a more close range combat kind of situation. The only person that really has any kind of like contest long range would be Tommy, and they need to be careful. They're going to go for the grab Dragon Strike though.
That's very interesting. They're using the Transcendence here so that they can through the dragons to really follow up on the grab. And as it turns out, that was a really, really good decision. I'm not sure the shatter was entirely necessary, as flashy as it was, because now they're going to have very few ultimates to work with for the next push. That said, they are doing great for time. At this point, only one ultimate is available for Banana Dance. It's Mirror Bright's Coalescence. This is going pretty well for the Honey Badgers. Barrage is available for the Honey Badgers, yeah.
Marble is on high ground. As long as the Marble doesn't jump in right away, they could be able to flank surprise, and they actually already take the point. So, well, good job to them. Wow.
This is going incredibly well for the Honey Badgers. They managed to get a nice stagger kill onto Axel. They're just moving forward now. They have to keep people on point, so they're a little tethered there. One of the problems with a less mobile comp is you can't really split yourself up quite as much as you might want to. They're going to go all the way up to this corner. They have to be really careful not to get collapsed on.
They gotta make sure they don't sleep on Milkill, because that's going to be the ultimate zoning. The moment that the Diva Bomb can be dropped is going to be such an uphill battle for them.
That is a massive pin and shatter off of Wesley. Makes all the space in the world for the grab to go through. That bomb is going to get two. That actually could be enough for Banana Dance to come back out and contest. One is going to get rezzed, but Pierce is still down. Even though he just used his grab, that's a lot of damage that's actually gone off the team. Tommy is going to put a dragon in the door, and it looks like the Honey Badgers are actually going to cap this to completion. Mirror Bright is there to touch. He's got the Coalescence up. It's not going to do anything thanks to the well-timed Transcendence from Hippo Mage. There is one kill coming through, but the grab is also there. It could still go either way. This is incredible. Looks like they're going to knock it off the point. The pin comes through. Sal's still on point. The bubble is out. Tommy's just taking free shots. Fuzz God going round and round in circles. There is no end to this fight. Oh my gosh, this could still go either way. Axel charges onto the point. Just can't seem to hit Fuzz God. He's still in full health. He's now spamming voice lines to really tell him how it is. The shatter gets Axel, but still not Fuzz God. And actually knocks Wesley away from Axel.
No way!
And it looks like it looks like the Hammond pick, the CC, is going to displace them just enough for them to actually get them off the point right before they finish capping.
You're not a real person if you play Hammond in OT. What do you want me to say,
no.
Spark? Like, they just went in circles and, like, knocked them out. That's knockback for you. What could I say? It's like, we can say why that was such an effective push is that they were very patient with their ults. While they did drop a lot of ults all at once, and they were kind of like stuck in an awkward situation. The fact is that backup barrage really was helpful, and the fact that also Marble or whoever was on Honey Badger's sort of Pharah for flanking was very effective. I think that was Marble. And no, it was Tommy. I'm sorry. And that was very effective, and that was just like they made sure to have a plan B and C, and that's sort of kind of like one of the things that they need to do, especially in OT. There's kind of a sense where it's like, well, when we get off the point, we get off the point, so we may as well just try our best with like what we got. And there's kind of a mentality that you kind of wish you could carry with actual less pressured like situations like that, but that was just simply adrenaline. Now we're gonna see how goats work out. They gotta be careful though. Tommy could just pierce through this.
They know they have an uphill battle here. They are fully aware of the situation. You could see they were considering taking the Bastion just to catch the Honey Badgers off guard. Right now, looks like it's just going to be some poke, trying to make some openings for each other, seeing who can land some nice damage into the backline of the other team. Wesley wants to do a really aggressive hold right in the choke. He can get pushed back by Axel. He's trying to make an opening. The Ghost is finally starting the brawl right onto Wesley, take him down immediately. Sal is going to float down, not going to go for the res. He probably could have, honestly. I don't think anybody noticed. Unfortunately, now the stun is there to really put an end to that shenanigans he might be trying to pull. And it looks like with very little in their way, Banana Dance is going to cap the first point.
Yeah, that's goats for you. Basically, it's a lot of healing with
Very
a lot
little
of charging.
in their way.
Yeah, one of their things that they could have done. Marble was a little too close to the ground. I think maybe if they used fuel usage a little more wisely, they could have maybe tried to get some great picks off of that. But that was pretty much it. But I think this is as far as they're gonna go because goats is now getting stopped, and this is like maybe a coalescence could help, but they need to make sure that they drop the coalescence now.
Riptire is out here. We'll see if it gets anybody. It hasn't decided who to go for. It's going to take Axel. Okay, so that's something. There's really nothing stopping Wesley from going ham on the backline now except a lot of CC. The Transcendence is out. They want this to be somewhat of a brawl, apparently. All the ultimates are getting used. Both teams are really making a push here. They want this to be the last fight of the game. Marble is going to land a nice barrage. Even if it doesn't get any kills, it does a ton of damage, and it looks like the Honey Badgers are going to come out on top of this fight and the map.
Yeah, that's gonna be, I mean, that's how you just stomp a goats like that. You take out a support, you take out a tank. Literally, if you take out any of the members apart from Mercy, they are gone. Because
all you need is that man advantage.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. It comes down to that because the moment you take out any of the supports apart from Mercy or just any of the tanks in general, that is just kind of like they're just a house of cards that is ready to fall down at any point.
Well, that was some very impressive Overwatch play. You could really see how they were adapting to each other. Lots of counter picks,
yeah,
lots
some
of
wrecking
really
ball,
close team fights, and some wrecking ball. When in doubt, play wrecking ball, apparently, because it works.
That was as the technical term is stupid.
Technical term, very technical.
Yes. Very,
anyways, that
very
does
technical.
Tie up the series so far. We have Banana Dance and Honey Badgers tied up at 1-1.
Did Banana Dance win Lijiang? I thought
Banana Dance took Lijiang home fairly well. The
the
individual fights were all very, very even and back and forth, but most of them went in favor of Banana Dance. So it looks like we are going to be locking in Hanamura for the next map here. What do you think we'll see there?
That's a great
I know
question.
I personally am a huge fan of playing Reinhardt.
We're gonna see a lot of goats. Just apparently, there's a lot of goats in Japan.
Oh, is that a thing?
Yeah, that is a thing. Actually, let me look that up right now. Let me see.
Broadcasters, we know what we're talking about.
Are there goats in Japan? And we're about to find out. Yeah, there's a whole species of goat called the Seros. The Japanese Sero or the Capricorn goats.
Well,
it's a
you learn
Japanese
something
goat.
new every day.
Yeah, it's a Japanese goat antelope, and even-toed. It's just a bunch of like cool scientific facts. But basically, long story short, is what we're saying is we're going to see goats as a charge because everybody hates the first point of Hanamura. Everybody doesn't care about that point. It's lovely. It's just a good sight. But it's like after that, you're just like, I don't care, because it's so hard to hold. Because I've never seen when was the last time you saw somebody actually hold this place?
I gotta be honest, I'm not sure I've ever seen anybody who wasn't like a random comp, like a team in comp for full hold Hanamura. I'm not sure. Oh, you know what? No. I think the Dallas Fuel full held first point Hanamura in stage 2. I think they did it once.
Well, that's a fleeting memory for us. So
one time does not a strategy make.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. It has to be consistent. Speaking of consistency, we're going to consistently see. Potentially, we will see the goats, but FuzzGod will teleporter them to the high ground because goats
that could be interesting.
jumping off from the building that's through the attack choke is like so good. It's just like currently in like a state of mind. Not a lot of people go for Hanamura nowadays just because of this. But the thing is that with that being said, when they do so, it is actually very effective because there's a higher percentage of pins going through choke from high ground than going through choke on mid. And that actually is a very interesting fact. And on top of that, there's also just the same composition again. Marble is going to be, again, a crucial person to watch out for because the Junkrat is just, you're trying to get through that Reinhardt because the Reinhardt, if they go down quickly, the rest of the goats is just going to just spread apart. And also on top of that, there's a huge risk as well. They need to make sure that works. That if they do go the Symmetra route, there's a little bit of delay that one of the supports won't be there. But we'll see how it goes.
So it doesn't look like they're going to lock the Symmetra in. It looks like they discussed it, probably said a lot of the same things you did, and they've decided they're not going to go with it, but they are playing the Ghost, so they just want to rush in here. They want to take this brawl immediately. Axel's picking on Wesley. They're forcing him to step back.
Oh,
Unfortunately,
no!
Tommy manages to fight Fuzzgod in the back, and that's exactly what you don't want when you're playing Goats. A nice pin from Wesley really makes some space for his team to move forward, take some shots. Cologne is going to fall, not really anywhere near a good grab ultimate percentage. All the kills for Pierce 09 right now. Beautiful fight.
Beautiful fight indeed. My goodness.
I think that's really exactly how you want to fight against a team that's running Goats.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want to do. They took that pick off Fuzzgod, got the D-Mech onto Milkill, and that was pretty much all that was wrote. Now they're going to push through, and it's not going to work out. I really don't like why you do this. Oh, Riptire. Dead!
Oh, that's
Everybody is dead!
Dead! Everybody. It looks like they are also going to stagger Milkill.
Oh my god,
let him get back, kill him at the last second.
That was the last Capricorn goat. They made him in stink. That was just pretty much just
they're all dead. They all died to a Riptire.
It's just a local man drops bomb in goat farm. It's just like absolutely insane. Like the thing is that this is the problem.
Goes to China.
Oh my god. Goes to Japan. But like the thing is that like that's the problem though is with goats. It's like if you lose it the first time, the ults aren't worth building for. You just switch to dive. That's plan B that you need to do.
Yeah, because every time you butt your head against a team, if you're losing playing goats, you give them so many ults. Look at the ultimate percentage for Honey Badgers right now. It's a massive ult advantage. They absolutely could hold this for the rest of the game if they play it smart.
The rest of their lives as well. That was a great dragon strike.
Interestingly, the dragon did not seem to get too much, but it did a lot of damage. So it looks like
spaced out the coalescence.
It is gonna force the rest of Banana Dance back a little bit. Tommy is still taking free shots. When they're on goats, there's not really much they can do about Tommy on that Hanzo.
That's right, because Tommy is well rested because Hanzo is from Japan and they are playing in their time zone. Realistically, though, the high ground advantage is ridiculous for defense, which is one of the reasons why you don't play goats. It's just like, if you don't work the first time with goats, because the Hanzo is just going to be uncontested for the most part. Now they have dive, but it's 1 minute and 30 seconds left. While dive does charge very quickly, they got to be careful. Tommy, what the hell are you doing, man? Why do you do this?
Yeah, why is Tommy here? He could be doing more with these shots, dude.
Yeah, Owl, come on.
Owl, yeah, right. Anyways, looks like right now they're just sort of waiting on the side of Banana Dance. They want to make sure they got everybody, and they want to make sure they are not just going to walk into Tommy's line of sight. The dive is going to come through onto the high ground. They want to make Tommy go away so they can finally move something through the choke point. Quesadilla is moving through, but he might get flanked by Junkrat. Marble behind has the Riptire. If he uses it, it could be a lot, but Cologne's on top of it. Takes Marble down before he really manages to find any value. Hippo Mage also goes down. This is easily winnable for Banana Dance. Their main tank traded for Hippo Mage, and that's usually a good trade. The Transcendence comes through so they can follow up on the Dragons really, really easily without much sort of dying, and that is actually an amazing combo. Might just won them the fight pretty much on its own.
It did, definitely, especially with Hippo Mage on those Discord orbs. It's absolutely nuts. It's just popping off. Now Fuzzgod's the only one with an ult, and hopefully they can get Cologne to get a pulse bomb, but I think this is a do or die moment, so we're about to see Marble just kill literally everybody.
Oh yeah, it's time to kill more goats. Let's see.
Well, I think they switched over to dive, so it's just local Australian man just killed the entire zoo.
Just somewhere.
Just drops bomb in Sacred Village.
It's the Riptire. It's gonna get Axel. Tommy gets res back up, and with no mercy on the side of Banana Dance, it's looking unlikely that they'll have the momentum they need to really clear this out. Tommy does fall, and the barrage is here. Unfortunately, the shield buys enough time for Hippo Mage to just take her right out of the sky. Quesadilla does die to Pierce, so at this point, it does look like there will be a relatively clean full hold from the Honey Badgers. I guess we were wrong, am I right?
You know what? I was about to say, has there ever been a commentator's curse that didn't happen?
Well, I mean...
No. we just dictate.
Give me one time where a commentator has said something wouldn't happen, and then it actually didn't happen.
There's whole compilations on YouTube about that kind of stuff, man. It's ridiculous on Smash Brothers. They'll go like, yeah, they're probably going to grab an up throw and then get the kill, and then like lo and behold, it's like that. Well, lo and behold, we saw Marble was such a star player for that, honestly. Did not show up a lot in the kill feed, but showed up big time when they needed to.
Absolutely.
The fact is that is the splash damage, the barrage, the range, and on top of that, the fast ult charging that really stomps Goats and Dive. And the thing is that while Dive was a good idea to switch on over to, switching on over when you have less than 90 seconds left is such a bad idea. You really just, when you're goating, just don't try to hold it. Just switch on over to something else.
You do it once. Right?
Yeah, you do it once. If it worked, great. If it didn't, then that's okay. You're still a good team. Just switch on over real quick and get those ults right away as quick as you can. Because Dive can be a great substitute for Goats or Slambulance. Honestly, Slambulance is really good.
Yeah, I mean, usually when you take the Brigitte, it adds even more sustain, and it can make it a lot stronger against teams that are trying to run dive compositions. But if you're not really worrying about backline harassers, a more sensitive backline in the form of just Lucio Moira could totally still be viable. If you really just want to focus the front line down, the shield break that a Roadhog brings to the table can really be useful.
Yeah, man, Goats are just not fun to just cast in general. I just as a play-by-play or color, I just don't know what to say about it. It's just you saw a ball of death and healing. Just walk right in and take
a ball of death and healing.
But we're not going to see the Goats per se. We're going to see Death Ball. It's one hero off, but that flashbang might.
We got the Goats on offense. Looks like they're going to be pushing in right now, taking point control immediately. Nice stun on Axel, makes him totally helpless.
Wrong team.
That's all right. So now Bananadance has to do something fast. They need to think about what they want to do.
Oh my god!
A tick has already been got. Now they really need to stay on the point, or this is going to go for Honey Badgers immediately. Some great play from Honey Badgers. Completely caught Axel out, and just nothing Bananadance could do. Once their main tank was gone, they just couldn't touch the point.
Local herd of goats defile sacred Japanese shrine. It's what you just saw there. Well, as we saw, the Capricorn goat is a very efficient type of composition, as they are also a even-toed ungulate mammal. It is found in dense woodland in Japan, primarily in northern and central Honshu. Cereals are solitarily or gathering couples or small family groups, and we saw a small family group of coming in here, taking a new home for themselves, as they're just so tired.
I have this mental image now of a herd of goats strutting into a Japanese city. They just sort of look around. Everybody, all the citizens are turning their heads, and they see this herd of goats, and they drop their coffee, and they run for the hills because they know what's coming.
They're like, oh no, that's a lot of healing, fam. We better skedaddle.
The goats are here. Anyways, that's a very solid win from the Honey Badgers that will put them up 1 in this matchup. It is now 2-1. And if I remember correctly, I do believe then this could be game point now for the Honey Badgers.
It is.
And so if the Honey Badgers manage to take home Eichenwald, which is apparently where we're going to, this will be their semifinals. They will progress to the grand finals, where they will take on the Squiggly Boys for the cash prize. And we will just have to see if that happens, I suppose. Some very interesting back and forth. I guess Hanamura just wasn't Bananadance's map. If you ask me, they didn't look very well practiced on it. It's probably not one they played in scrims very much. Because I know for a fact these are all teams that have been scrimming. These are the teams that have decided to take this as seriously as possible, and they really want to win.
Speaking of taking it seriously real quick, let's give a little bit of a shout out to our producer, Ben Viglo. He's
absolutely
doing a great job producing and making sure that we are not casting and producing at the same time, which is a big old no-no.
We tried.
Thanks,
Some of the
Ben.
earlier games we tried.
Hey, we get used to it, so thank you, Ben. We love you very much, and keep being awesome, buddy.
Keep up the good work, my dude.
Yep. So we're here in good old Eichenwald, and if would you like to know? We are probably going to do see maybe a Zyga, which is also German for a Zyga, which is a Zyga is a German term for goats.
Oh, okay.
And,
of course.
Yeah. So
silly me.
Shout out to Google Translate. As the word, but
yes.
we may not see that actually. We may actually see potentially maybe double 2/2 DPS Hanzo Graph Strike with the pharmacy as we see here. But on the defense side, I do like Hippo Mage going on the hack. The health packs are going to be overwhelmed because that's such a crucial, especially in Abandoned Tower where they have where it sort of splits the fork. The health pack, if it's or not the health pack there, but the health pack that is in like right across from Abandoned Tower, that little hole that sometimes comes out from defense side is very helpful for like attack. They usually sort of fall back there and take advantage of it, and not usually the house or the hunting house, if you will. So that might be able to work out. And they're not going for the tree house composition as well, so they're just going to stick here and try to hold that choke. So that might be effective, but you want to see if Axel is able to push on through.
I noticed Pierce actually said his Venom Mine up on the that FuzzGod might consider hovering over to get into the backline. Really smart place to put that early warning system. They really pick on the Mirror Bright, doesn't matter too much. KZD is there with the res. Looks like the Banana Dance is going to start pushing through the door. Axel's pushing out. We'll have to see what happens here.
I'm sorry, that pick on the Sombra was so good. All right, that's a great pin right there, and they almost knocked back Marble off the stage. That's really impressive. But basically, they just took that point, and I think it's very impressive that Mirror Bright's able to come back from that. The Discord wars were very crucial, but Hippo Mage, unfortunately, just sort of taking the flanking back and just sort of leaving their team behind instead of hacking one of the health packs was kind of like one of the downfalls specifically.
Yeah, it was a very relaxed push there, I noticed.
Yeah, that was way too comfortable.
Yeah, not a lot of pressure being applied there from the Honey Badgers. They're going to have to do a little better than that particular push. We've definitely seen much better, so we'll have to see what they do here in Streets. Anyways, looks like Axel's going to start pushing forward a little bit. Marble just want to drop down and tickle the shield a tiny bit. Pierce managed to take out Milk. That's great, even if it's not going to last that long thanks to a nice res from Quesadilla. The charge is gone, so nice little bonus. FuzzGod getting pressured by Wesley. He might actually die. Doesn't look like it. Wesley tries to fall down. Hippo Mage goes in for the EMP and manages to take out Mirror Bright instantly. FuzzGod's on the ground. Hippo Mage can take him out right now. Oh, he's got Barrage up, so taking him out would be nice. There's a nice shot from Pierce. Marble still just piling damage in from afar. Sal's got to get out of there. And looks like they don't really want to commit any harder than that. They sold the cart for a little bit. Only used one ultimate. Still doing pretty well.
Yeah, they're doing great right now, and especially the fact that they could even take the high ground advantage if they so desire, because Cologne is just popping off right now. And once on attack, you take that high ground advantage, you could be pretty comfortable. And I like this zoning coming in with the Dragon Strike.
Yeah, it attempted to take out Sal on the Mercy as he flew back, but it wasn't aimed quite right. The mobility was there. Wesley managed to take out FuzzGod really early on. Tommy can be relatively uncontested now, but unfortunately Cologne's going to take out Pierce, so that fact just changed. Now, if they can manage to take Cologne out of the fight, not by killing him, but just by preventing him from taking shots, Tommy can get into a very aggressive position and take some free shots. Transcendence is out, so is the Earth Shatter. It managed to take two, but the pin doesn't hit Hippo Mage. It only hits Marble, and both of them are getting pocketed, so it looks like no kills will come of it. Wesley is down, but it's only a 5v6. The self-destruct is there. It's not going to get anyone. Looks like Quesadilla is going to fall, though. Two nice shots from Pierce 09 means that the fight will probably go in the Honey Badger's favor. It's just FuzzGod and Axel now. Should be clean up, but they do manage to demech Marble. So that's a nice free ult charge for Axel before they send him on his merry way.
Yeah, they will. I'm sorry, it's just the knockback. Oh, Overwatch ragdolls are the best, let me tell you. But they managed to hold on to that point very well. I think there was a little bit of overextending, unfortunately, and I think Cologne, if they actually came a little bit closer, did some close range fight, did a Storm Arrow, they would have been able to finish off that fight quite easily, especially with the fact that nobody got picked off by Marble's Diva ult. But, you know, it's still not the end of the world. It's 3 minutes and 5 seconds. They're very close to the point. It is still very doable.
Unfortunately, Cologne's going to get singled out by Wesley on the Winston. The Primal Rage is there so they can get back to the rest of the fight really, really quickly. The grab comes through, and they're going to combo it with Barrage. Marble manages to eat enough to stay alive and give Pierce the time he needs to take the shots to win the fight. The res comes through. They got all 6 people up. Nice, clean fight from the Honey Badgers. Really nice win after Banana Dance committed both Graviton and Rocket Barrage.
It is very impressive that they are able to still hold on to it, and now that they went through a good chunk of their ults on the side of Banana Dance, this is actually, even though there's 2 minutes and 25 seconds left, Pierce with these pop-offs, and he still hasn't dropped the visor, means that they can still have the information. They can prolong this. Cologne getting the pick off, though, does show a little bit of sign of life, but they have to be very careful. Oh!
Unfortunately, that dragon, again, meant to prevent rising a little bit late. Goes for Quesadilla, but he did get Quesadilla. And that being the Mercy, that is somewhat of a good trade because there's no res available now for the rest of Banana Dance. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like they're immediately going to move in. They still have a little bit of time. Wesley needs to get healed up first, but the Storm Arrows is there to prevent that from happening. I don't think Sal has res yet. They can commit their support ults if they still want to commit to the fight, but I wouldn't do it. They have the double sniper from Banana Dance. That can make it very dangerous. Pierce there with a kill onto Fuzz God, a well-placed shot. Unfortunately, then he's going to lose the duel with Cologne. Self-destruct comes through, gets Mirror Bright. What are you laughing at?
It's just the Zenyatta. It's just like so bullied. And then also just the fact that it's just like, it almost feels like a solo ult. The resources that are just sort of used here is just so ridiculously powerful. And it's like almost to the point where they're just solo ulting. But like the zoning's actually working out. So it's almost like it's been very much a Swiss Army knife of ults. And also, fun fact, Cologne is actually a name of a city in Germany.
Oh, well, I knew that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Esports lover would, because of USL 1, Cologne. But
anyways,
yeah.
Still watching an interesting ult economy develop here. A nice ult advantage for Banana Dance. Could be more, though. They're making some swaps. They now have a Genji. Fuzz God's on the Genji. And looks like he wants to go contest Tommy, but he's going to get booped back. So it's an interesting choice to use the dragon from that far away. I guess they just don't want Pierce on that high ground as they move forward.
What is this all?
Axel's going to really commit to diving Pierce. Not going to be quite the right choice, but the Transcendence is there so they can see it through. Tommy goes for a very interestingly placed Rocket Barrage, but it's not really going to get anything. And it looks like Banana Dance is managing to snag some kills as they go through here. They just need to take out the tank lineup. Pierce does manage to get res, so if Pierce can get 1 or 2 kills, this is absolutely a winnable fight. Unfortunately, Al's gonna fall to the self-destruct. Support's just getting bullied by these ultimates.
What? How did Millkill get like two the diva ults and like there's a space in between?
Oh, let's not get off guard, guys.
Oh man, we'll see how this goes. I think hopefully Tommy is doing a great job, but Cologne's popping off. They got what is up there? They keep aiming up. All right, the Wicked's about to go down.
It looks like Honey Badgers have actually managed to get back onto the point.
It's because everybody kept shooting at ceiling, expecting to find the Widow. The Widow's nowhere near. I don't even know, and I want to know. There was just such a weird ult economy, which is why I was having such a giggle fit. And just especially the fact that, like, the Diva Bomb at the end, I don't know if anybody noticed that, but there was, like, 2 kills after the Diva Bomb was dropped. Like, there was such a delay in like, the Diva Bomb getting the other Zenyatta. So there was, like, it was, like, Mercy got a kill, then there was a Genji dash, and then the Zenyatta got killed by the Diva Bomb. But before all that, there was a Diva Bomb kill from the same Diva Bomb that got the Mercy. So it was like, it was a weird delay. It's just weird. The Zenyatta, it's the problem of the positioning that is like going on for my head right now. It's just like the thing is that they get so spaced out, and then on top of that, they're so far away from each other, and just the fact that like the Zenyatta never caught the break. He just walked out the door and died from an ult, and it's just like that is just like this sheer. It's just a big mood.
That's the Zenyatta life right there.
That is the Zenyatta life. You're just like, all right, guys, let me eat this ult real quick. I'll be back. Yeah, exactly. It's really good. But also on top of that, I will say on a serious note that like the all placement was so whack. It was very,
Yeah,
very
it was
odd.
all over the place from both teams.
It was such a big map, and both of them were just like, I don't know, maybe if we shoot up, we'll find like a Pharah, a Mercy. I don't know,
maybe if we just press Q, something will happen.
Yeah,
you know,
guys, blame it. If it doesn't work, just blame it Fat Finger. Just say it's a Fat Finger, we'll be fine. But hopefully everything will be. Oh, never mind. We're gonna see the Zyga. Okay.
Zyga coming out from. We got the goats / Zyga coming out from the Honey Badgers. They're going on the right side. That's a little bit risky with FuzzGod there on the boot. Doesn't look like he's going to take it.
Oh,
they're going to rush out here, see if they find anything. I'm not sure direct is quite the right way to go. It's a long way to go through spam. And Axel almost lands the pin, but not quite. Sal's just trying to put some damage in. They're all trying to work on getting Axel out of the equation right now, and it is going to happen. Oh, they don't seem to realize.
Oh my God! Holy God! Oh my God! Oh my God!
What?
I just saw Sal. I just saw Sal like freaking just wall ride up the high ground that you go around right, and just punch melee killed like enough for Hippo Mage to get the reach.
Oh wow!
And just like it was like Lucio just punched Pharah in the head, knocked her down, get the reach and range for Hippo Mage. What is this game? I don't even know anymore.
You just like knocked Pharah in the head, like
just like dunked her.
Doomfist style. Alright, so again we're in another poke phase here. FuzzGod's up top, trying to get some nice damage in. Might be getting a little too close though. They don't want to be able to hit him with any key abilities. Cologne's also up top. I'm not sure how Pierce actually got up there. I didn't notice that. Marble's really committing. He wants to get on FuzzGod. Manages to take him out. It's a nice use of abilities there. Now that they're down in DPS, it's going to be really difficult. Unfortunately, Mirrorbright seems to have accidentally fallen off the high ground. He's going to get tossed around a little bit down there. Sal tried to go for the boot to get Axel off, but unfortunately he missed. This is all over the place, I gotta admit. Cologne's still taking shots from the high ground. We'll see if anything comes of it. He's gonna Deadeye. Everyone is really spread out. He manages to take Sal. That's a nice barrage as well for the follow-up, so it looks like they are finally gonna knock Honey Badgers off the point. 4 minutes left, but it's not too hard of an area to hold.
What?
That's a nice shatter. It's gonna manage to take Axel away from his healers, and so this could still technically go for Honey Badgers, but with just Ryan and Moira, I doubt it. And Sal's come back, but probably nothing's gonna happen there.
We still need you.
As you can see, Sal's just sort of backing up now.
Yeah,
Sal gonna make it out of there alive? He actually might.
That was spacing. That was straight up spacing. Just like the fact that the attack team was so spread out. Like, it's just goats. You don't do that with goats. You either die together or you ride together.
Whoa! Sal.
Wow. Sal.
So if you didn't catch it, audience, Sal just went to we wall rode across the map, got right up on top of Milk, and almost moved him off. Then when he turned around, he fell off himself. It's all right. It happens to the best of us. Looks like he's gonna swap over to the Mercy anyways. So
I'm done casting.
It's all right. People fall off the map all the time. It happens.
Yeah. So sometimes tactically, sometimes for style. They are flexing on this team, and I don't know why. Because Banana Dance is at match point.
Actually,
oh no, it's
absolutely.
Honey Badgers.
Yes, it's a Honey Badgers that are at match point here. There's a grab here, but the Transcendence comes through. Might get something on the They managed to take out Quesadilla. Unfortunately, both members of the tank lineup are down. Sal manages to take out FuzzGod. That actually could be the play that they needed, because that's a whole lot of damage that's no longer in play for Banana Dance.
Shatter.
I think Sal may have just scored the game-winning kill.
Yeah, Valkyrie coming into play.
With his
don't doubt
little
that
Mercy Blaster.
They held left as long as they could, Spark, and they did it great.
He's gonna Kobe the barrage, unfortunately. He's gonna Kobe the Graviton, unfortunately. The barrage shut down immediately by Tommy with a well-placed rocket. This is down into a point brawl. This is gonna come down to mechanics. Cologne with the Deadeye. It's gonna get Wesley. The Transcendence is also out. He's just trying to keep his team up. This could go either way. This is the game-winning point for Honey Badgers. If Banana Dance loses this, they are out. And it looks like it's just all on Milk right now. He just needs to stay alive long enough for someone to get back, but I don't think it's going to happen. The Honey Badgers will go to the grand final. They will be playing against Squiggly Boys for the cash prize.
They will. And, well, if you wanted me to be a little more in-depth, I guess we could talk a little bit about the fact that there is just the sheer amount of, like, what entire nation was going on with these ults? The play of the game. Did you see that? Look at the kill feed. What happened with that? Why did Zenyatta walk out and die? It's just he got the last end of that ripple and just like I cannot handle the radiation and dies. And it's just like
the sun killed him. He's defective. It's an Omnic that sunburns.
Yeah,
really easily.
Welcome to
my life.
Welcome to Eichenwald Becomes Human.
Eichenwald Become Human.
Yeah, it's a good game. It's a successor off of Detroit. But either way, good job to Banana Dance. They did their best. I think honestly, Honey Badgers. I think honestly, Banana Dance just trying to style on them was so weird. Like you saw so many ults just like misdirected into the sky.
So yeah, I'm not entirely sure what happened on Eichenwald. On the other two maps that Honey Badgers won, I think it was very clear that they adapted a lot more cleanly to Banana Dance than Banana Dance did to them. Because if you remember, on Lijiang Tower, it was a very close game, but Banana Dance was consistently coming out on top in almost every single team fight. And part of that had to do with target priority and some mechanical plays from their team members. Unfortunately, they could not continue to hold that up as the strategy evolved from the side of the Honey Badgers, and their DPS started getting shut down. They weren't able to take as many free shots. Anyways, so the grand finals will be playing at 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time today. And so that is less than an hour from now. But I do believe we are going to take a short break and allow us casters to get a drink of water, and all of you guys watching patiently can take a bathroom break, and we'll be back in about half an hour. Thank you all so much for watching. I cannot wait to see Honey Badgers versus Squiggly Boys. I will see you then.
We will be back for the Goat v Goat Dittos.
on, don't you know I rock the fire with you? I rock the fire. I'm not an angel, I'm not a saint. I've been a closed book full of mistakes. But when you're broken, when you're in pain, ooh, I rock the fire with you. I rock the fire with you. I rock the fire. I rock the fire with you. I rock the fire with you.
You're like the moon and the stars. You're my shadow, you're my light through the dark. And anything you do turns to art. I hear it calling, calling for me. Gravity, even though we're miles apart. I knew it right from the start that I'm not leaving without you. Said I'm not leaving without you. Don't run away from me. 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 Miles apart. I knew it right from the start that I'm not leaving without you. Say I'm not leaving without you. It's been a long time. Gravity, don't run away from me. Gravity, don't run away from me. Gravity, don't run away from me. Gravity. 1, 2, 3, hit it!
T-minus 10, 9, ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Myself in circles all night long and sleep through the morning.
my fault? Is it my fault? Is it my fault? I can't keep these thoughts at rest. Is it my fault if I can't calm myself down? They won't let me take a breath. Is it my fault? Is it my fault? Is it my fault? Is it my fault? I can't keep these thoughts at rest. Is it my fault if I can't calm myself down? They won't let me take a breath. Keep counting change to buy myself some time. Just sort through my neoplastic mind. If I run away and change my name, then maybe I'll find a new perspective in time. Is it my fault? Is it my fault? Is it my fault? I can't keep these thoughts at rest. Is it my fault if I can't calm myself down? They won't let me take a breath. Is it my fault? Is it my fault? Is it my fault? Is it my fault? I can't keep these thoughts at rest. Is it my fault if I can't calm myself down? They won't let me take a
but I'm foolish. I needed you, know that I've been missing, but I'm foolish. I needed you, know that I've been missing, but I'm foolish. I needed you, know that I've been missing, but I'm foolish. I needed you. I needed but I'm foolish. I needed you, know that I've been missing, but I'm foolish. I needed you. I needed you. I needed you. I needed you.
carried you home, taking all the weight off your shoulders. Now we're long gone, falling into 1 year older. It's funny how our love began when I was sober. Now I stumble in a room where nobody else cares. Now I'm in two minds thinking about you. I'm in two minds thinking whether I'm too kind to give you all of my truth. I'm in two minds thinking. Now I'm in two minds thinking about you. I'm in two minds thinking whether I'm too kind to give you all of my truth. I'm in two minds thinking. We've been knocked down way too many times, and now my tries deja vu round, spinning me into another lost time. Tell me where this road will end before I drive over the edge. Give me one break to recover myself, because I can't bear. Now I'm in two minds thinking about you. I'm in two minds thinking whether I'm too kind to give you all of my truth. I'm in two minds thinking. Now I'm in two minds thinking about you. I'm in two minds thinking.
All right, guys, welcome back. This is the last match of season 1 of the Siege³ Community Tournament. We have Honey Badgers versus Squiggly Boys here for the grand final match. This is for the cash prize, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know about you guys, but I'm very excited. And just like for the semifinals, I am again not casting alone. I am joined by the wonderful Bemi. Say hi.
What's good, everybody? How you doing, Spark? It's the grand finals. Aren't you both happy and sad that it's coming to a close?
Well, I'm not so sure about sad, to be honest, because I'm very excited for some plans I have for the future. You'll have to stay tuned for some stuff.
A wonderful answer. A very good answer.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It's been absolutely fantastic to see all these teams playing each other. But I'm also very excited for some future plans that I have with Fish, the co-creator of Siege³.
Shout out to Fish.
Shout out to Fish. He's
Hello, hi, how's it going?
That was him. He's ghosting right now. Anyways, so again, this is Honey Badgers versus Boys. You just saw the Honey Badgers win 3-1 in the semifinals against Banana Dance. Well-earned victory, to be sure. And now they are going to be going up against Squiggly Boys for the cash prize, $60, $10 per player, and some shiny Discord roles for the winners in the in both Intergalactic Gaming and Sparks Pugs. So, as always, with Siege³ matches, we're going to be starting off on Lijiang Tower. And I believe the teams are just about ready to get going. So, talking about some of the stuff we've seen from the teams so far, I know that the Squiggly Boys likes to be a little bit more traditional with the types of team compositions they run. And I know personally some of their players, some very strong points. Ballots Cannon is an incredibly good off-tank, so you're definitely going to have to watch him. See if he makes some crazy plays. But looks like we're going to start off here on Control Center. So what's interesting about that, Bemi?
Well, it's probably going to be a little more in favor for the side of Squiggly Boys, given that you said that they are a little more traditional. And there's not a lot of room for experimentation compared to, say, Garden Center or Night Market. Command Center, you need to play that Death Ball with the Reinhardt and the Junkrat. You can maybe change a little bit of your DPS, but that Junkrat's going to be very vital for piercing those shields. You can play Pharah, you could play potentially a Tracer, you can play Genji even, or even we saw McCree recently. Depending on how the composition goes for the side of the Honey Badgers, because they could potentially just sort of go for something crazy like they did with the McCree. But overall, that is sort of something we have to see that is up in the air right now. But basically, long run, what you want to see is the team fight, where they go either mid or to straight to point, and if the Junkrat is able to put enough pressure on the Reinhardt shield to be able to break through.
Yeah, that does make a lot of sense. And I mean, Honey Badgers is taking it. So it looks like they're very aware of that win condition. So they're both going to be going mid here towards White Room. Lots of spam coming onto Wesley's shield. That's a huge fire strike. Lots of people low. They need to take a second before they can commit to anything. Now with no bubbles out for ballots, now would be the time for the rest of the Honey Badgers to move in, and they do manage to get a pick on the blue dude, but the same goes the other way. Tommy is now also down. Sal might be going for the res, and she is going to do that. Wesley's just sort of holding his own on the point right now. They're wrestling back and forth. They want to be able to hold this point without giving up any ground in the back line, but unfortunately they're not going to be able to do that. Some people are going to have to fall for them to really prevent this point from being capped, and thanks to some well-placed CC by Monday on the main tank, they are going to knock Wesley away from the points and bring home the cap.
Yes, Honey Badgers were just sort of very spread out far apart, and honestly, while that's not such a big deal for when you're having a Junkrat because of spread fire and just gives a lot of support. Unfortunately, just because they managed to go straight to the point for the Squiggly Boys, the positioning was a lot more in their favor. So hopefully now they don't get rushed all the way to spawn Honey Badgers, and looks like a good grab.
The grab only got Wesley, but now the rip is out. Pierce manages to take it down with some A+ tracking, so they could actually take an angle here, but they have to be really careful. Monday using an Earth Shatter. If this Riptire gets something, this could be what they needed. It's not going to find anything. A nice bubble from Ballot's cannon will prevent the Riptire from getting any value, but Hippomage did manage to go around the side, get on top of Blue Dude. A nice Transcendence out to really prevent a lot of the value from that Earth Shatter, and it also allows Sal to go through with the res, but with Marble down, that's a lot of damage they don't have available. The Shatter's only going to get one person, and the Transcendence manages to block out any value from both the Graviton and the Transcendence. This is still going to go in the way of the Squiggly Boys, who now might be a good time to point out the Squiggly Boys are currently undefeated. They have won every single game that they've played so far in Siege³, so it would be quite the turning point to see Honey Badgers really take it from here.
Yes, it would be quite the upset, and we all love an underdog story, but unfortunately, right now, just Squiggly Boys, knowing their spacing and their body, they just got good self-awareness going on, and Monday is not going as an aggressive Reinhardt. Unfortunately, Wesley's trying to go for those opening pins and charges at uncrucial times, and they're just needing that more for protection than anything else, and lead Blue Dude to get the opening kills. There's a Riptire coming.
Riptire might get someone. It's not going to. Pierce is going to block it with a bubble. Wesley, but I'm not sure anyone can actually get to the point. They just got held at the door for too long, but you know what? It's okay. It's only the first point of the first map. The Honey Badgers are by far not out of this yet.
Yeah, it's a best of 5 within the best of 5. That's the best way to start it. So you got so much elbow room. Not a big deal.
No reason to be even remotely worried. Looks like we do have a short pause here real fast. Probably some technical difficulties.
It's a fair trade-off. We don't get physical injuries. We only take technical difficulties.
That's all right. Anyways, so if we want to go a little bit more in depth as to what was happening in those fights, like you said before, Wesley's really trying to get in there and make plays, but unfortunately it doesn't seem to be exactly what this team is looking for, whereas Monday is willing to stand there and hold right click and, be her team's shield.
Yeah.
The Monday being there and not trying to do anything really dangerous or risky really allows Ballot's cannon to pummel in the damage to build his Gravitons, or Blue Dude to really spam down damage from afar, and it buys them the time they need to get the advantage before Monday has to make any plays. Now, I could be wrong about this, but I don't believe Monday was a main tank player before she started playing in Siege, and I'm really, really impressed with how far she's come from her first Siege game all the way to now in the grand finals for Siege³.
Yeah, it's really impressive for a new player. Usually new players, you just see them just being very aggressive, but Monday's a very passive Reinhardt. And while that doesn't sound like a good thing for a tank, it's actually really good. And in the long run, it's going to make their team live longer. Knowing when to hold shield at the right times is very good as well. And also, the more passive you are, the more you get to build up your ultimate, because it's more about absorbing damage and sending your abilities. You can swing your hammer all you want and try to get some damage, but in the long run, they're going to get an Earth Shatter a lot faster because of that. And also, unsung hero right here would be probably Chrysler as well. Just as a support, they've been really, really good.
Oh, you know what? I hadn't even thought about that, but you're totally right. Chrysler is not really one to go for the super crazy support plays, those those individual fight-winning reses that that he risks his life just to bring back a DPS. And sometimes for some players that works out and they win games because of it. But in most cases, you don't really want to be putting your life at risk, even if it is to res someone, unless they're really, really crucial to the fight win. Like if you need Grav Dragons to win this fight, and maybe it's the last push and your Zarya is up, but your Hanzo is down, and you need to try to res the Hanzo, then sometimes that's fine. But really what you want is a Mercy that you can count on to be alive. That's the more important thing. Just knowing that you're going to have someone there to heal you or to potentially res you if you die somewhere safe. That already allows you to play way more aggressively and to really try to get in there and make a difference in the team fight.
Absolutely. It's really what we're saying in the long run is that they have structured plans, plan A, plan B, and plan C that work out very well for them, and they just kind of allow it to just sort of be almost muscle memory for them. But the problem is that is that with that, it comes almost autopilot, and being autopilot is very dangerous in a game like this. So the fact is you want to be careful that you don't really just fall into the sense of lather, rinse, repeat routine of things, because then that's going to just leave them just so open to just being able to be easily read. And Honey Badgers is ones that can quickly adapt. That's one of the great things about their free for comp. They start from a regimented by textbook meta composition, and then they'll just go like, oh, well, Sarah will work for this composition, and they'll just immediately switch and not care.
You're completely right. I hadn't even really noticed that, but that is something they're doing a lot more than other teams. They're so willing to fluidly make changes to the team composition to counter exactly what they need to and be the Swiss Army knife that you were talking about earlier in the semifinals. So starting off here on Gardens, we have a Widowmaker on both sides and a Pharmacy on both sides. We'll have to see how those interact. Marble almost gets booped off, but he's got thrusters, so nothing huge will come of it. Blue Dude's just trying to get an angle onto Tommy, not quite finding too much. Meanwhile, it looks like, interestingly, the Dive Comp will take over the point control and pressure Monday as she tries to push out here, try to give her DPS some space to hit the shots they want to. A nice shot from Pierce09 onto Chrysler, and it looks like Tommy will follow up by collapsing onto Blue Dude. It's a nice pin for Monday, but I don't think it's quite going to be enough to make up for the fact that Chrysler got picked rather early on in the team fight. Now Sal's going to actually have an opportunity to go for a nice res here to pick Hippomage back up, and the point will finally flip into the favor of the Honey Badgers, so Squiggly Boys is probably going to have to back up here.
Yeah, unfortunately the composition that sort of Squiggly Boys was running was a just sort of composition that we don't usually see. The dive works out very, very well, and Pierce really was uncontested. Blue Dude just kind of going in with the team. This is kind of one of the reasons why we see dive as opposed to death balls, because death ball really needs it to just be a very linear path, whereas Garden Center kind of allows a lot of options. But that's a great pick from Blue Dude.
That is a really nice shot. It was across the entire map. Looks shield lets Sal res. Hippomage actually the concussive blast that would have knocked Sal off. Unfortunately, Monday is able to hit her with what I call a fire snipe. It's a nice pin onto Wesley as well. That's some really great mechanical play from Monday there, using both of her abilities to the fullest to really make sure they are controlling that space on the point and to not allow the Honey Badgers to initiate any sort of dive onto her backline.
Yeah, it's such a powerful, but well, it's more of a power play, if you will. And it's just such a good thing to just make sure that your Widowmaker is in a comfortable position that they can take out. I wouldn't be surprised if they're going to try to drive push, drop some ults. If it doesn't work, then I wouldn't be surprised after this push they hero switch. But this is a very still solid composition that they have going on. So if they win this team fight with the ults that they have, then it could work out. If not, then they might hero switch here just because it's still early for them.
So Marble does manage to sort of single out Trampador in the background. Unfortunately, Hippomage just barely whiffs the shield bash on the Chrysler that would stop the res. Marble is there to follow up on the kill itself, but Hippomage is also going to get knocked off the map by Balance Cannon. The Honey Badgers do seem to be generally claiming the kills here for this fight, as the Squiggly Boys are getting somewhat separated and are therefore subject to the dives that Honey Badgers wants to put on them with some nice target focus and some high mobility.
That was super sweet of them. Like, Wesley just came in there and shielded and bubbled in the right positionings, and it was great. because really Pierce was feeling comfortable about this. Blue Dude's dropping the information. I would actually say it's super early doing this, just from the standpoint I just like to hold on to that information the moment we need it. But like,
I'm not entirely sure why Innovate uses Transcendence there. He might have been trying to push out with the team. Something seems to have gone a little bit wrong with the communication. That's unfortunate. It does happen at teams pretty much at all levels. They are only down 1. They've lost a huge chunk of their damage, but the Barrage is definitely going to finalize the fight and really push it into the direction of the Honey Badgers.
Yeah, and unfortunately they lose Pierce, but that's fine. Blue Dude's going to tactically SD, and Pierce can make it back just in the nick of time. But I think, honestly, we might see this fight win over for Squiggly Boys if they're able to touch it in time. And
they do have Grab Barrage available.
Yeah. That's the thing. And also, Blue Dude switching over to the Tracer, Pierce is going to have a hard time getting easy snipes.
So, interestingly enough, Blue Dude's actually pulled the aggro of the Mage away from Innovate. That allows the Barrage to point as well. It's not actually going to get too much, but the team does frag out. Sal manages to take out Trampador, but the res is there. This could still go either way. We could see a repeat of what happened in the semifinal here, as both teams are going to trickle onto this point for a very long time, desperately trying to get an upper hand in the fight. Hippo Mage is going to fall just as Marble gets back with his mech, and Wesley jumps into the fight just as Trampador falls. And again, this could really go any way. Mundy's going to fall. Marble's going to lose his mech. They're just sort of playing around this pillar. They don't want to give up any more HP than they have to just last long enough for their teammates to get back. Both teams claiming kills. Honey Badgers slowly coming out on top as they take out Chrysler and Ballots Cannon. So that will go to the Honey Badgers. They've tied the King of the Hill 1-1.
Well, certainly they will, because apparently, if you didn't notice, Spark, is that Graviton, you heard it go off, but it was nowhere to be found. Why? Because the Matrix ate it just in the nick of time. So they had to drop the Barrage for the zoning, and that was already a downhill battle. If you're fair in close range dropping a Barrage, they didn't SD, but they also just left themselves exposed. You're kind of in a stasis where you just need to make sure that you're in an area where the enemies are trapped in the close, and that's why you have to grab. So they had one of the 2 pieces of the puzzle missing, and that was just so unfortunate. And through there, they all they could do is just try to stagger that point as long as they could.
Yeah, that makes sense. But now we're going on to Night Market. Looks like both teams, or Honey Badgers, some semblance of a dive with a Pharah and a Tracer, whereas looks like Squiggly Boys wants to run a sort of a death ball team composition, triple with a pharmacy. They might have been expecting a Goats composition from the Honey Badgers. Unfortunately, that isn't what they got. Looks like now Blue Dude, unfortunately, is going to fall to the ground. He's going to get singled out by Pierce off to the side, and that lets the rest of the team sort of move to point. An interesting res onto Wesley. Unfortunately, Sal is just taken out by a right click thanks to Ballots Cannon. Again, frags going to both sides here. They managed to focus down Mundy, and I think this is going to go to the Honey Badgers. Some nice focus fires and some really good aim by Hippo Mage. You can see he's already 2/3 of the way to his Transcendence, and they're just now capping the point for the first time. And Transcendence charges fairly slowly unless you have good aim with Zens. You can tell what we're working with here.
Yeah,
I mean, these players really want to win this game.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's money on the lines. Of course you would, Spark. Pharmacy is going to be a very strong benefactor to both sides, though. You want to see who can charge the Valkyrie the quickest. Not the Barrage necessarily, but the Valkyrie, because you're trying to see who's going to be able to eat those ults very quickly. So pay attention to that. And also make sure to pay attention to Mundy with the Earth Shatter and see if they can get away with that, or if Pierce can overwhelm them and flank them and drop the ball.
I agree. Mundy's Earth Shatter is probably going to be the most important thing to watch here as they move into point, and Wesley doesn't have the bubble. Mundy's just trying to find something for it. Nothing's coming. Pierce manages to land a nice pulse bomb at a Trampador, which gives them the advantage in the fight. Both barrages coming out. Unfortunately, the self-destruct is on point, zoning some people away, but he's saying Banana Dance. Squiggly Boys are going to surge back on a point. They have positional advantage. Their Zarya is here and ready to kill people. And looks like they are going to frag out, and they're probably going to take this point home. They just need a little bit of focus fire to get rid of Wesley, who unfortunately is going to just barely knock someone off the side there for Trampador. And it looks like Honey Badgers could actually bring this back. They need to make sure Innovate doesn't die. Blue Dude's just trying to take some shots through the side. He manages to take out 2 of them. Now it's down to a 4v4. It's still winnable from both sides as the high mobility from the Honey Badgers means they're going to get back faster. Both Pharaohs are up in the sky. Tommy loses the duel to Blue Dude, and Chrysler is going to vow to try to keep his team up. Money just swinging on Marble, managed to take him out. Then the shield up with the bubble. Make sure Chrysler can get the res on the Blue Dude. This definitely should go for the Squiggly Boys. They are going to cap the point, but it took them much longer than they probably wanted it to, and the Honey Badgers are already up to 85%. Look at that ult economy, though.
Yeah, I was about to say that they did risk building up more of the percentage for the side of Honey Badgers, but they did allow themselves to hold on to the ultimates, which in the long run, if you think about the long game, is going to help them hold it even longer and even give them an even chance or an advantage at this point, because these are not going to come anytime soon.
Grab's going to come through, and the Transcendence is not quite enough for the barrage from killing Wesley. Put enough damage into something, it'll eventually. That's a rule you learn over time from playing a lot of Overwatch. Troubadour's trying to get onto Sal, but it's not quite enough. And Sal actually tried to go for the res, thought probably he would have some assistance from Marble, but unfortunately, probably not quite the best choice. Unfortunately, Monday's Shatter doesn't actually manage to land on anybody, but Tommy's there with the barrage to really clean it up, make sure it goes in their favor. Now Blue Dude's up top. He manages to win the duel against Tommy. He is going to be able to touch, although he's got to be really careful because Pierce is waiting on point with the flashbang available to shut him down the second he tries. Squiggly Boys is going to make it onto the point. The bubble keeps him up. Unfortunately, the flashbang lands on the Chrysler, so this is not looking good for the Squiggly Boys now that they don't have their main heal. They do have the Transcendence, but if they don't get a lot done with this Transcendence, I don't know what to say. It's not going to end well. Unfortunately, the Deadeye is out. There's no shield. The self-destruct. Pierce does die, but so does Monday. Hippomage falls from a nice shot from Innovate. Marble manages to pick up 2. 2 in the back line of Squiggly Boys are now dead thanks to Marble, and that actually means Honey Badgers is going to take this point home. They are now up 1 on the King of the Hill, 2-1.
Big old word for you is bubble. Big old bubbles for both sides. Bubbles were just such a crucial thing for either of the two, whether it was Zarya bubbles or the Winston bubble. It was such a big thing because the matter of the fact is that if they were not going to be able to necessarily close it out, they just needed Winston bubble to be able to sort of eat those ults as Wesley did and give a lot of protection. So the timing of those were absolutely perfect because if you notice, some of the barrage was actually eaten up and protected. So while they were living by a threat of health, they managed to at least get to the point and get to a positioning where they can sort of fortify and get their defenses ready, and that's why they were able to do it.
Looks like this time both teams have got a very similar team composition. Only one Junkrat in play this time, and it's in place of a Diva. Goats on both teams. Going to be a lot of WM1 from the Reinhardts. There's no follow-up on Wesley stepping into the trap, which is incredibly lucky. The particle effects are making my computer lag. That's a nice pin on the Troubadour. That is absolutely the opening they need to start moving forward, but unfortunately the Junkrat bombs means it's going to be too difficult, so they actually have to back up. The res gets through. Luckily, Pierce manages to get a nice little soft flank kill onto Innovate, which forces them back. Wesley lands another good pin onto Blue Dude. Some really great tank play from Wesley, and the micromanaging of the CC that they're using to really make sure they get these kills is really intriguing.
Wesley pinned a Junkrat and lived to tell the tale, which is something we don't see every day, especially when there's so much firefight. The death ball didn't get overwhelmed, and now they gotta be careful of this Riptire.
The Riptire, it's gonna get 2.
Wow.
That is need to back up. They cannot take this fight. They're down their Zarya and their Reinhardt. That's 0 brawl, basically. They just can't take the fight. There's no point in it. They will lose. Unfortunately, it looks like they want to try to stall the point. They don't want to give up any point progress. They're just trying to stay alive inside of all the damage that the Junkrats are doing. The Reinhardt's back, but just in time for Sal to die. That's a nice combo between Shatter and the self-destruct that gets 3. That's a fantastic play from the tank lineup of the Honey Badgers. Absolutely brings the fight back. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Points are still going up.
Oh my gosh, that was like some 8th grade geometry. I don't even know what that was. That was like just pure genius. Now they're dropping the rally and they're going to be able to eat the armor, and man, Goats is winning.
What do you know? Yeah, the Blue Dude is going to go for a Riptire out here. We'll see if he gets anything. He might take Sal. He's going to go right past him, though. It looks like they actually want someone else. Unfortunately, it's not going to actually kill Hippo Mage, just barely out of the range. They're moving forward with the Transcendence. The Graviton manages to catch Tommy. Hopefully, they don't need any more ults to win this fight because they are out. Blue Dude is going to fall while they're trying to move forward. A pin from Wesley onto Mundy. There's a lot of healing being pumped into her right now. Is it enough? It looks like maybe just barely. They need to kill somebody. A nice pin onto Wesley means they will finally achieve that goal, but unfortunately, Innovate and Tripodor are dying in the back line. Mundy has to go back to help, and if not enough, 95%, 96%, it looks like they are going to be able to touch with Blue Dude, but it's probably not going to be the game winner. This is probably going to go in favor of the Honey Badgers. And as I say that, we know what Hammond is capable of. They did get Ballard's Cannon on the point. Blue Dude's going to fall. The Shatter actually whiffs Ballard's Cannon, and that bought time for the rest of the Squiggly Boys to show up. So they are actually in a fight right now. They're only down by one. A massive Shatter hits 3 of them. Pierce is able to shove it down before there's any follow-up, but Tommy is down. Marvel's team next. It's still going both ways. Chrysler and Innovator, the only 2 left. Now it's just up to the Lucio to stay alive and wait for his team to get there. Blue Dude is going to just barely touch point, but the grab is there waiting for him, and he's going to die. Nothing left for it. Honey Badgers are going to take Lijiang Tower relatively comfortably. Seems like they're getting their footing, sort of like they did with the first map against against Banana Dance. Very, very interesting. Let's watch a nice play of the game. This combo right here. 3 kills for Marble. 2 of them thanks to Wesley's brilliant shatter from the side. And then they just collapse on Innovate. Very well played from both teams.
They did very well on the Shanyang, which is goat in Chinese.
Of course.
And it's honestly, I gotta say this. I was really worried that going goats was going to be pretty much a definitive L because it's Junkrat, and while you have Junkrat going on, it's going to be very hard to get through all that damage because actually Junkrat can overwhelm the healing, especially if you have 100% charged Zarya, you have bubbles, you can get really obnoxious with the bear traps and landmines.
My apologies.
All good. But like in the long run, if you think about it, their target prioritization was very, very good. So in the long run, they knew that the Junkrat was going to be a big pain in the neck. While it wasn't necessarily the first kill, you saw it. If you looked at the health that was going on between the Junkrat and a bunch of the rest of the team on the side of Squiggly Boys, it was for sure going to be their highest priority because you kept seeing the health dropping and them desperately trying to keep them alive because they both understood that like the Junkrat was such a key thing. So like good on them to understand that they needed that, and we're now on King's Row, so it's a totally different story. But wow, what a great play from Honey Badgers.
So the teamwork I'm seeing so far in this game is some of the best teamwork I've seen so far in the Siege games that I've had the pleasure of watching. And it looks like on offense, we are going to have another tank-heavy team composition. I don't know if Blue Dude is going to stay on the Hammond, but it would certainly make for an interesting story if he did. Meanwhile, on defense, we have a little bit more classic Deathball coming in. We're going to have Tommy on the Pharah, possibly, and Ana Mercy for a support lineup, which is becoming more and more common in the pro scene because you have a raw healing output combined with just an incredible amount of raw utility when it comes to the res, the sleep dart, the anti-nade. And again, when you put that with a lot of raw healing, it does a lot. Hippo Mage is just he's just spazzing out a little bit. It's like a random number generator. Which direction is he gonna shoot in?
Yeah, it's Russian roulette with Granny. I would say honestly, I'm not surprised with the with the Death Ball, or not the Death Ball, but the Wrecking Ball, or it's known as Miley comp. It is sort of like a actually, you know what? Never mind. They're running goats. I'll shut up.
Well, it's goats, but it's with a Wrecking Ball. Blue Dude's going in really aggressively. He's gonna land the pile driver to make to back up before they can move forward. Unfortunately, Innovate gets caught in a pin by Wesley. Blue Dude's gonna go for it again. They're still committing to the fight. Unfortunately, there's no follow-up for the pile driver. Balance Cannon already full energy. They do manage to take a tick, but now they're gonna have to back up. Unfortunately, Mundy is gonna fall. Not quite enough support to keep her up and all that damage. There's a McCree and a Pharah, and that's sort of exactly what you don't want to go up again when you're running this tank-heavy team composition.
I like that Marble is staying in the back line and not getting too aggressive with the Pharah, you can sort of just pop around and take a couple of splash damage shots, and that's a great response. Honestly, if Blue Dude sort of just followed up with the hit scan and just took out the Pharah, they could be a completely different story, but they did not. So that is kind of another factor is that they cannot leave Marble unattended. Like, they were very close to killing him, and that would have been a great pick to lead into something great.
So we'll have to see if Blue Dude is going to go for another same play. He is. The pile driver lands with it, but it goes straight into the pin. Money knocks Wesley out of his shatter, then lands a shatter of her own. The Coalescence is there to try to take Marble out of the sky, and it works. The fight is still even. They just have to worry about Wesley in their backline, and Wesley can't really escape because of a great zoning ult from Blue Dude, but the anti is out. Blue Dude's got shields. Wesley probably can't finish him alone. Sal's gonna pop the Valkyrie, see if that's enough to get the point back. Pierce is moving back onto the point. Tommy's Deadeye is gonna really clean up, make sure that Chrysler doesn't escape, and they might even be able to get stagger kills, because with no speed boost, it's very hard to disengage from first point on King's Row.
Yeah, absolutely. They do have the first marker, so that's good at least. They got 2 minutes left on the clock. At this point, if Goats didn't work this time around, okay,
I'd be looking at swapping too.
Yeah. You have your ults, fine, have at ya. But that's not enough. You don't have anything to follow up. And Blue Dude, I guess with the landmines, could have worked with the grab landmine. That would have been a great combo. But we'll see if this armor can eat it all up.
So there isn't too much to stop people from dying once they're inside the Graviton Surge.
Wow.
Best, but it's not really enough. I mean, you might notice, even though they have up disadvantage, they used all 3 of their ultimates at once. That was some great value from all of them. The beat drop allowed them to get aggressive enough to just swing into the Graviton. Nothing could really stop them short of a well-placed hammer from Wesley, and unfortunately that didn't come through for the Honey Badgers. So it looks like this comp is going to continue to work, but just barely. I would consider swapping off of it now in Streets phase when you don't have as many ultimates to lose. Money's gonna have to back up here as the Honey Badgers starting to move forward because they don't want to give up any free space. Blue Dude's gonna go in with the mines, see if he can separate anybody. It's not quite going to happen, but it is going to get them some free space all the way up to this next corner, which is decisively harder to hold defense. That is an interesting flank from Tommy all the way in the back. Gonna get knocked away from the ledge. Nice flail shot from Innovate. Marble's trying to move forward, see if he can get an angle, and Wesley is stuck in the back. The shatter doesn't get anyone. The grab is out. Wesley managed to follow up on that. I think the Honey Badgers might actually have this. You gotta be careful though, because his Hippo Mage is down, and that's the main source of their healing. But since it's safe in the back line, Sal's gonna go for the res, and it's definitely the Honey Badgers fight.
Honey Badgers for sure, and this time I would say switch around right now. Stop doing the goats. It's cool. I understand that, but not all the cool kids are doing it, so take a break. And like, here's the thing is that they've spaced their ults out perfectly, so it's like 50-50 all the time, so they have this false sense of comfort that like, oh, we got 3 ults, we can do this, but like, Goats doesn't charge ults quickly, so you really are playing with your time bank very, very inefficiently, but they're doing a good job right now.
There's a massive grab that came out from Ballad. Not have enough mass healing to keep people up wearing a Graviton. Balance. Blue Dudes got really aggressive here. They tried to collapse on the Ana, but Marble was there to put a little pressure on him, force him to back up before it was too late for Hippo Mage. There is time for the Honey Badgers to contest this.
Oh, there's certainly more than enough time for Honey Badgers to contest this, and certainly enough ults too as well. From support, nano boosting the barrage could be a great flank. Potentially just leading up to the grab itself and just barrage as well. There's so many options.
Oh, a lot of ultimates being used. Both sides here. 4 ults from the Honey Badgers and 3 from the side of the Squiggly Boys. A lot of ultimates got used. It was very hard to tell what happened, but if you look closely, you could actually tell Chrysler booped Wesley out of the way to make room for Mundy to go shatter. But while Mundy took the shatter, they didn't notice that Marble got into position to go for a really nice barrage, which when comboed with Wesley's shatter was enough to win the team fight.
It was a very efficient time, I must say, for both sides. But overall, it was a good idea to switch on over. There's a 90 seconds left on the clock, but I think this point it's very doable in this sense, just because they got the rally now to eat that armor. So it's not impossible, and I think it was a good call to do it around this time.
Marble is going to fall pretty early on. The Badgers still want to try to hold this. Sal is also going to fall. They have to be really careful while they play this. It's probably already lost. They might just want to give him the points, see if they can get out alive.
I think they could see if they can, let's see, dry push potentially for the side of defense, let the point come a little more closer, and they could potentially just be able to hold it for a much longer time. They are playing with fire, but honestly, that is their best bet. Hippo Mage switching on over to the Zenyatta is a great idea.
This is some pretty great Overwatch we're seeing. Very back and even fights so far. Wesley's getting a little bit pressure. There's no bubble to save now. Too late to back up. Pierce is also going to fall. The res is there for Tony, but it's not going to be enough to save the fight. At this point, Squiggly Boys are taking free cart push, and the Honey Badgers aren't really sure how to go about taking this fight back. Marble is down in front. He's trying to land abilities. It's a miracle he's not already dead. The Dragon is out on the left door. It's not going to find anyone, but Voodoo does find Sal immediately afterwards. A nice grab gets the tank lineup of the Honey Badgers, leaving only Hippo Mage on point. No one is contesting Tommy. Someone's going to have to deal with that. Then again, it's also incredibly unlikely he'll land 5 shots in time for them to not cap. Some great play from the Squiggly Boys coming out in that last point.
That was my microphone falling off the desk due to the fact
Professional
that,
casters. We're professional casters.
a herd of goats just came by.
So much goats. Just so many goats.
It literally obliterated my desk.
That's how it works. They just
yeah,
W
it
on
does.
one end of the desk, hold his shield, and he can't not hold his shield.
Exactly. I mean, those are some pretty sturdy goats, I must say. I've never seen goats like that before that are able to hold shields, but hey, there's a first time for everything, right? Anyways, but in all seriousness, there was a just... Unfortunately, I think what would have been good is to sort of regroup. You actually noticed that they didn't regroup until the very last minute, and the payload was just about to reach its destination. Sometimes, in the sense of like the King of the Hill maps that we go into, we say to let go of the map so you can regroup. Yes, you lose percentage, but you get the group back together and you stand a better chance.
Winning the fight in the long run is definitely more important.
It's basically what I'm saying here for this kind of thing. Let the payload get closer near to the point. Your team is regrouped and it's closer to the spawn. So that's like a win-win situation there. And on top of that, once you finally take out the main support, it's going to be pretty much smooth sailing from there. So sometimes, yeah, it's good to stagger as much as you can, but in this case, there was a lot of time where they could have worked with that.
So we have some nice death ball compositions coming out from sides. So it's nice to see a little bit of variety. DPS picks. We have a Hanzo on both sides, but the secondary DPS is different. We have a triple support on the attacking side from the Honey Badgers and a Junkrat on the defense. It's not quite goats. It's triple support, but it doesn't have a third tank.
3-2-1 death ball, but it is. I shudder every time I see 3 supports. But anyways, let's see how the supports work out.
That is unfortunate. Hippo Mage, the main of the Honey, immediately gets picked. So does Blue Dude, but I would argue Hippo Mage is even more crucial, especially with a res waiting in the wings for Blue Dude. Honey Badger just has to back up, take their time with this, go a little bit slower.
Yeah, they have to take their sort of time with this, but like understandably so. This is a 3-2-1 death ball is just very much a composition that you want to not slow down at any time because it's very tempo based and very aggro based. And ooh, that was the very risky pin.
Almost a good pin on the Balance Cannon, but not quite. So no Mundy has no pin now. They might get a little. Mundy's getting super aggressive. A lot of CC going on to her. She's gonna get backed up. Sal lands in the trap, and unfortunately for him, Blue Dude is there to make sure he never does that again because he's dead. Nice Shatter Dragon combo. Gonna land 2 kills. Pretty much clean up the fight for the Squiggly Boys. Hippo Mage left to fend for himself in the back line.
Yeah, not for long though. They're dead. Don't worry.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. They're dead. So with that being said, though, the Mundy going aggressive very last minute just to get that last bit of charge for the Earth Shatter was such a smart play, especially when they knew that the Dragon Shatter was coming. Now that seems like a lot of ults just to expand for one wrapping up fight, but that Riptire is going to allow them to
Riptire coming out.
Yeah.
It's not going to take this Zarya. It's going. It knows what it wants, and it's going to find it too. Dead in the backline. Honey Badgers is forced to regroup again. No Hippo Mage, no Tommy, no Marble. No way they can win the fight.
Yeah, now they got also the grab coming up, and how can they follow up with that? A good old Dragon Strike that's right around the corner. How they do that? They just sort of save time with that Riptire, and there you go. The cycle begins a new spark. It's going to be absolute torment for them.
And now they do have Tommy on the far end now, an interesting choice. You gotta be really careful. Blue Dude has proven himself time and time again to be capable of hitting shots. That P-drop might be enough to save the team from the Dragons, but unfortunately the pin from Monday is gonna guarantee at least 2 people die in it. Trampidor does fall to Tommy, but the res is there, so there's not gonna really be any follow-up. Luckily, they do have Grab Dragons now on the side of the Honey Badgers, so they could do something with it on this next push.
Yeah, a little bit of that and a prayer could go a long way, but it's very hard to pull it off on the attack side because you're not just sitting at a point the whole time. You've got to move and groove and get ready to position yourself to do such things. So honestly, a grab shatter into the Dragon Strike may be just exactly what
they
need.
might need to land the shatter first, because if you look, Innovate has his Transcendence, so unless they do something extra, the Transcendence could completely block the Grab Dragons. A nice shatter to shut down the nano boosted Wesley, but it's not enough because another shatter comes out. They might not even need Grab Dragons. I hope they don't, because Marvel's actually dead. The Transcendence comes out, but that means they have nothing stopping the grab from working. They're going to commit it because they absolutely do not want to lose this fight.
They absolutely don't want to lose this fight, and hopefully Wesley is able to make it back to the point in time. They might try to contest this, dare I say, because Wesley didn't, but I don't think there's enough time, but they might try to fight the
It does
choke
look like
here.
Squiggly Boy is backing up a little bit. No one got back spawned for the Squiggly Boys. They're all capable of pushing up pretty fast here.
Go back south.
Very careful from that Tommy spam up top. Nice boop, gets Ballast out in the line of fire, almost takes him down, but the support is there from his healers, not quite enough. And Ballast is going to go for a grab, just shove it right onto Wesley's shield, take the 2 kills onto the tanks. Mundy forced to back up. The Dragon zones him out from their supports,
Wow.
but unfortunately the kills only came through for one side. The res is there for Blue Dude, and it should work out that the Honey Badgers have to take a moment to go back and recuperate.
Yeah, I understand going aggressive because you don't want to get stopped at that awkward position, but you got to be careful about that.
A nice boop onto Blue Dude.
Wow.
Tommy, the slept Hanzo, nothing to save him that deep into the enemy backline. A really nice, well thought out play.
That is like Galaxy Brain meme kind of thought. Tommy dropping that barrage is nice too. Wow.
The barrage managed to take out Mundy, and Tramador's Riptire is going to fall to Pierce. I couldn't tell if it was a right click or a left click or what, but it died nonetheless. Mundy also going to get
for
sure.
It was a team effort between lobbing barrage grenades and barrage itself. Just a barrage, straight up. Just
So Wesley's getting pretty aggressive here now. We'll have to see if the Squiggly Boys want to move up any soon. Looks like they're waiting for main tank Mundy to get back. Blue Dude's taking some pot shots at Tommy.
You're going to notice that Innovate's going to stay a little bit more in the backline because they're probably aware of Wesley's Earth Shatter. So they're just going to probably wait until that happens and then drop the Transcendence. If that
Wesley's
actually
Shatter
hits.
is not really going to find anything, but the nade. Hippo Mage's anti-nade just got 3 people. Transcendence was completely useless. Poor Innovate could not get anything done. He did his job, but it just wasn't helping.
Wow, this is really impressive. Pierce, with the bubbles, allowed Wesley to just sort of go very aggressive, and the tanks were just working overtime, and they didn't need the supports as much because they didn't go too aggressive. They were just slowly going through, and while it seemed very fast-paced, it wasn't that much at all. And you just gotta be careful of a couple of flanks here. Trampidor could potentially do this with high ground, just landmine up there and just lob grenades over.
Wesley should be very, very careful moving up here. Mundy lines in, Mundy gets slept. Tommy's nanoed and barrages in the background. Manages to get 1. The distraction does let Wesley pin Mundy, and Chrysler's caught out in the process. Trampidor is trying to stay on point, doesn't want them to touch because he knows if he backs up now, that's point control. And now it looks like it's only up to the Dragons to keep them off of Cart, but it's not quite enough.
Oh my
Both teams
God.
capped with roughly 2 minutes left, but one is much closer to 1 minute.
Pierce bubbled the Hippo Mage so that way they can get close to the Dragon Strike and push the payload just that last meter that they needed.
That's
that was
really great teamwork.
Yeah, that is great communication. It was like, here, bubble me. I'm just gonna just walk up to it, and they're like, okay, and then they did it, and they were like, huh, that worked.
Isn't that's usually how it goes in comp. I don't know if it usually goes that way in team play.
I don't ever touch comp. I don't have a team. So like, I will take your words, but overall, I'm gonna say what I saw here though. That was really great level of communication just displayed there by the side of Honey Badgers, where they kind of like, yeah, they were very perseverant, but it didn't, whenever they hero switched, it didn't seem out of frustration. It more seemed like they were just not slow in the draw, but just having that light bulb moment just a couple of seconds later after going like, hang on, this might not work. Do you guys want to switch? And they go like, yeah, that's fine. And it just like you can feel it naturally just coming to them, just realizing it. Now they have to go against something that's not natural, a threat against human nature itself, a thing called a goat with a Hanzo.
Goat with a Hanzo.
Or as we may as well call it the herd and its shepherd.
The herd and its shepherd. I love that. It's a herd of goats and one man keep them all pointed in the right direction. That being
literally
the
with
direction
an
of his
arrow.
arrow. Tommy's gonna win the duel instantly though. Blue dude down, and Squiggly Boys are forced to back up. They can't push it without their main source of damage, and they know they really want that damage because it's a lot of brawl they're sacrificing by not having a diva. They don't really have anything to contest the Pharah.
Yeah, losing that shepherd is going to make them disband, and it's going to make it very difficult for them to even push on through. 60 seconds left on the clock. Can they even push it? They are lacking a couple of components called ults.
I cannot believe you just made that pun in my tournament.
I can.
Heavyweight's gonna fall early on, chasing Sal, but it's not gonna find anything. Wesley goes for a pin, and the bubble means Monday can't counter pin. Wesley goes for the shatter, but it actually goes straight into the wall. Unlucky for him. Trampidor is trying to get out with Chrysler. Blue Dude also needing to get out. Only 30 seconds left. There's no ultimates in play, but Hippomage is close to the nano boost. That does not look good for the Squiggly.
No, it doesn't. Blue Dude getting Marble, however, that's going to be a good pick onto them. Then you really need to make sure that they can at least get the Earth Shatter, or like the Coalescence.
It's a nice Dragon's going to take out Sal, but they need to be very careful. Wesley with the nano boost, he's going to manage to pin Innovate. Hippomage is also down.
That's a great grab!
That's huge.
Oh.
The Dragon is there. They're going to escape.
Too late.
He doesn't manage to get anybody. The Dragon is just a little bit too late. No,
Wesley, you're going to
Monday was
die!
pretty low, but the Coalescence is going to lock down the point. That is some incredibly lucky timing with that Grab Dragon's just barely whiffing on killing the tank lineup of the Squiggly Boys.
They had their herd. They had their shepherd around that time, so it worked out for them. But in all seriousness, it was just unfortunately that last oh my god, are you kidding me? Blue Dude. Alright,
we're gonna see Blue Dude on the Bastion. We'll have to see how the Honey
I'm
Badgers
down!
react
I
to
love
this.
this. I'm a filthy Bastion main. I'm sold on this 100%. Let's set sail, boys. Let's go all the way. Let's protect
Let's
the
see it.
president. Let's babysit
Say
the baby.
goodbye to Wesley's big blue rectangle, am I right?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see how this goes. I think honestly this will work great. You gotta rely a lot on Pierce for the bubbles now.
That's a nice grab. Put him right in Blue Dude's line of sight. What are they gonna do? The healing is there, but Sal is gonna fall, and the Shatter doesn't manage to take out Blue.
Blue Dude, what are you doing?
There's a Bastion on the card. Unfortunately, it's the one person the Shatter didn't hit, and Blue Dude is able to prevent any follow-up just by existing. The ante is in. If there were any tanks alive that could really collapse on it, that would be a absolutely fight-winning scenario, but that isn't the case. So the Squiggly Boys will continue to surge forward with a Bastion on the card. Whew.
Let's see how this goes. I honestly can't tell you anymore what the hell is happening as a color commentator, but all I can say is that the moment Blue Dude drops tank mode, that actually will be a losing point. That is like one of the most worthless ults.
Yeah, you do not want
now.
to use the tank mode unless you already... Good for cleanup, because it lets you be fragile. Now,
Yeah, because you need Marble down.
And down, and get a rocket barrage on the Bastion, but that didn't happen. The Nano came through right after he died. And that's very unfortunate for him because now the kills are going to go through for the Squiggly Boys. That's a nice anti, preventing them from getting aggressive to kill Sal until after the res. Unfortunately, Blue Dude's now in the back taking free shots. Marble manages to knock Balance Cannon off the side. The grab is really fat. That's a massive shatter and a massive anti. I think the Honey Badgers are finally going to win a fight.
What did I tell you? Going tank mode, you got a couple of kills, but you lost the fight. Why? Because you were off that payload. They needed you on that payload. And the payload stopped. Why? Because you got off and went into your silly little tank mode. Just so that way you
Sometimes
can
it's just not the right response.
It's not worth it. Sometimes ults ain't worth it, man. And like, there's just a prime example of that. But like, the thing is that understandably so, that was like way too much time. And going the pirate ship, it did make them go the distance. So now you have what, 20 more seconds, 25 more seconds than
40 more seconds. Actually,
40 more
closer to 40. Yeah.
40, fair enough. 40 seconds more than the other team, which is in the hindsight and long grand scale and scheme of things, it's not really a lot of time to work with unless they take that point within the first fight.
If they take it in the first push, they have a nice advantage because they know they can't get rid easily knocked off permanently in Streets phase, but really they have to get past Streets phase, so they are going to be in overtime at some point during this attack, no matter what. So they've got a bit of an uphill battle here. 2 minutes to get all the way to last point, really. It wasn't that far off, got all the way to the corner. So it looks like we have Blue Dude on the Soldier 76, which I haven't seen a lot of recently. I kind of question that decision because Soldier is not quite as effective at dealing with high healing comps because his damage isn't burst damage. It's very fast damage over time, and it's good for consistency, but it's not really what you want when you're dealing with something like a Moira.
But you got a Pharah, so that's old school hit scan taking care of stuff. So I guess also the radiant healing will help, but that's already dead.
Unfortunately, he's going to lose that duel. Chrysler needs the shield. It is there just in time. Communication with Mundy, make sure the res gets off. Now Balance just wants to pressure the shield a little bit, maybe grab some energy. Nice kills onto the back line of the Honey Badgers, thanks to Trampador getting a nice angle with his abilities. Tommy's actually going to take out Blue Dude on the side, but Trampador is waiting for him with those bombs being lobbed at the side of his head from Hotel.
Yeah, it's painful to see, and very impressive that they won the fight overall, especially getting Blue Dude out of the way. That would have been a great hit scan, but honestly, it's not the end of the world. They can still get one more push, and it would work out well. They just need to make sure Hippo Mage discords the tanks right away.
Now at this point, they are going to circle around the outside of the statue, see if they can get a better sightline for Marble and Tommy, and they are going to lose Pierce, but Wesley outplays Mundy on the front line. Unfortunately, the res is out. Res is out for both sides, though, so really we're still in a 6v6. It might come down to who builds up an ultimate first in this fight. Both Reinhardts are very close. There's Shatter. A nice pin lands on the Mundy. Discorded means nothing's going to happen. Shatter doesn't manage to hit anything, and the grab is also out. Balance Cannon might have just saved the point with that Q. Looks like he has. What a brilliant play.
Really good stuff, and 30 seconds left on the clock. I wouldn't be surprised if we did a last-minute stand. Wesley, unfortunately, dropping that Earth Shatter right away was just might be the cause of Squealy Boys winning this one and tying it up 1-1.
It might be. And they
They
still have a lot of
from
ults on the
Tommy.
defense. They do have sights. The Riptire's coming out. Wesley is not sure what to do about it. He's going to go for a Fire Strike. He's just got to time it well. He wants to pin Mundy, and now he doesn't know what to do. There's damage everywhere. The Riptire gets someone. The Tactical Visor gets someone. The Shatter comes out. It doesn't really hit anybody. And unfortunately, Mundy is actually going to manage to pin him too. With just the supports left, I think the Squiggly Boys win King's Row.
They do. That was the first time I saw a Transcendent summon and then everyone dies. So that happened. But in the long run, it was very good. Unfortunately, I think really that Earthshatter was just a definitive factor of just how they won. Because the thing is if you think about how all that went down, it was basically whoever was able to build up the ult and hold on to it for dear life. It was really just a matter of like, hold on to the ult as long as you can, and find a good opening on the attack side, and then on the defense side, or I'm sorry, on the defense side, and then on the attack side, the goal was to hold on to the ults, but also try to bait out. And so they had a little bit of an extra task, and with that little amount of time that they had to work with, it was just going to be a very uphill battle. Was it impossible? No, but there you go.
So it looks like we have a small disconnect from the side of the Honey Badgers. He'll be back momentarily. Yeah, apparently was having some technical difficulties with his game, wants to restart it, get that sorted out. Anyways, the score is now 1-1. The Squiggly Boys have managed to tie it up. Neither of these teams is willing to let go of this cash prize. I am so happy with the quality of the games that we've had so far in Siege, and this is absolutely the culmination of that. What are your thoughts on the game so far, Benny?
I would say, honestly, this is, I'm very happy to see that it's 1-1. I would say Honey Badgers in the long run showed more stamina, just in the sense that they were able to take Lijiang Tower. And while, yes, they did go an extra round and they made it very close. So I would say Honey Badgers had a little more of a convincing win overall. I will say Squiggly Boys are doing a great job. Overall, I think Mundy is a great tank. Fantastic. I think they're doing a good job. And I think Hippo Mage as well is also a great passive player as well. Just in the sense of just the healing and the discording that they're doing. Tommy is very good as well. I would say Sal, as long as they don't overextend and do too many risky reses like they've been doing, I think Honey Badgers could be in the clear. And looks like we're going to go into Gibraltar next. So I'm expecting Honey Badgers to maybe take this one because of dive. And they're really good at dive.
Yeah, we have noticed they're really good at making sort of non-traditional DPS work with the dive composition. The dive tank lineup seems to be able to make space for any sort of DPS combination that you might think of. I will notice the Honey Badgers tend to be a little bit weaker with their Reinhardt play synergizing with their backline, but their dive is definitely a lot more cohesive and synergetic.
Yeah, I would say overall, just good Overwatch in general. And why don't we learn a little more about goats?
You learn more about goats.
Yeah, I'm looking up crazy goat facts. Just because we've been seeing it a lot.
Yeah. Goat facts. Give me some. Give me a goat fact.
All right, here, 20 crazy goat facts.
All right.
All right. Let's see. Goats don't graze on grass.
Really?
Yeah, they
See,
don't
that is an interesting goat.
But the thing is, they don't eat raw grass. They have to get a goat to clean up the grass of your beautiful lawn, and it will they will just totally annihilate it. So they actually just eat everything straight up, as opposed to it being grazed.
Huh. Okay, you got another goat fact for me and the audience? I'm sure this is why they're here for. Right?
Let's see here. Let's see.
I think we're doing a good job.
Yeah, I think so. Let's see. Let's see. Never call goats by their names, which is apparently what are these facts? What is this? Well, I know. Do you know about the fainting goat?
I do know about the fainting goat. You can surprise it and it faints from fear. It's supposed to be like some evolutionary thing to play dead, I think. Right? Is that right? Like it lives somewhere big cats hunt?
I guess, yeah. And then they play dead and that works, supposedly.
Supposedly.
Yeah, hypothetically. They should be able to do it. And then also goat cheese is considered apparently very healthy.
Okay.
It's supposed to be considered the healthiest cheese, one of the healthiest cheeses
here,
in the world.
Bemmy. I am a goat expert, okay? I used to own goats.
Who are you?
Goat cheese is quite healthy, I can agree. It is also quite tasty.
I think this would be fish.
That's all. That's my input. All right.
That's all right. That's all. That's the only reason he's here. Good to know. All right. It looks like the teams are ready. If not, they are about to be. And so we will be heading to Watch Point Gibraltar.
Yep, we're jumping right in there to the land of dive.
All right. Let's see. So Widowmaker and Pharah also tend to be fair. The Widowmaker more so than the Pharah, because of course the former counters the latter. But we'll have to see, because like I said, like we've been discussing, Honey Badgers isn't always quite as traditional with their team compositions. So looking here, we seem to have Monday Reinhardt, which is a really interesting choice. I'm not sure she'll really stick with that, considering she also has Innovate on Zenyatta and Blue Dude on Genji. But I could be wrong. For all I know, Monday is simply way more comfortable on Reinhardt than Winston. In fact, have we seen Monday on Winston yet today? I'm not entirely sure that we have.
I don't know, but I do know we're seeing Monday on a Sunday, as opposed to a Monday. Okay, well, here's some more in-depth color caster facts for you, Spark. Is that there's going to be a good idea to go the flanking DPS route, because the sniper DPS routes are just, in the sense of very risky idea, but I like the hybrids though, because necessarily the Genji Widowmaker is a lot better, especially if you are going to have that mix up. And Pierce is going to have the time of their life because defense in Widowmaker is just sort of like on a playground.
Yeah, I know what you mean. The whole sight line on first point here is so open from that blue box that you see teams set up on all the time. I mean, it gives you a sight line basically onto the entire section of the map.
And we're gonna
It's not always the cleanest, but it's there.
And we're gonna see in the way that the UK say a little bit goats, and it's what we're seeing here right now.
All right,
Goats
so it
with
looks
a
like
wrecking
we have
ball.
locked in a triple tank dive on offense. With the Squiggly Boys trying to collapse on someone. They don't really have a target quite yet. They just want to take some space, it looks like. Blue Dude's trying to contest the high ground, but not really getting anything. They're all jumping up now. Let's see if they land on anyone. They're going to be on Tommy, but he's getting a lot of healing right now, so it's not really going to have anything come of it. You know, it was a very aggressive dive that really didn't find anything. It might have been a little premature. They probably could have won a fight off of it if they were a little bit more patient. And at this point, there is no bubble in play for Monday as well. So, Pierce09 taking shots in the background. Balance is going to get on top immediately. Doesn't want him taking any more shots. And Blue Dude also having to back up because he's getting a little bit pressured by Marble. This fight is all over the place. A lot of different people fighting different targets. Pierce manages to take out both supports and get a nice shot on Innovate. Hippo Mage also manages to demech Balance Cannon. And now it looks like it's just cleanup for the rest of the Honey Badgers. DPS goes uncontested on high ground and kills everybody. Mark that one on the bingo sheet.
Yeah, next to the free space because it's easy to see. Anyway, so Pierce does have that all charge immediately. Not a big surprise in Gibraltar. Gibraltar and Rialto are just such strong maps and contesting maps for the Widowmaker.
Look at these ultimates. Look at those ultimates. That is not looking good.
Yeah, they just gotta go through a dry push and or charge to their very lives. Oh.
Unfortunately, Blue Dude tried to get onto the Zenyatta, but it wasn't quite enough. Both tanks actually dove south at the exact same time, which might not have been the best choice. You usually want to have one dive first and have the other follow up to finish the kill because she has access to that Guardian Angel, which just means she can escape for free from any single threat. So they do manage to take out Sal, but unfortunately, it's not going to do too much because Sal is going to be back in the fight before the Squiggly Boys are. So, now Balance Cannon is forced to use his self-destruct just to get a new mech back. He doesn't want to be in a position where he's stuck as Baby Diva and unable to really do anything to help in the next fight. And that ult economy is still so far in the Honey Badger's favor. It's really unfortunate for the Squiggly Boys. It's not a good position to be in.
Yeah, well, they ran goats, and that's what they pay for, especially with Wrecking Ball. It's not necessarily a good idea. I understand there's a lot of places.
It's a nice shot from Pierce09 onto Blue Dude, and with the sights up, it's not really safe to res either. Looks like they're not going to go for it. They're just going to wait for the respawn. Blue Dude's back up. He'll be out in a moment. Well, so they did put money back on the Reinhardt. That makes me think she's not entirely comfortable playing Winston. It might be that the reason she's come so far learning Reinhardt over the course of Siege is because she has been putting a lot of pressure on learning Reinhardt. And to be totally honest, if it works, it works. That'll be a nice block from Monday on the self-destruct. It doesn't really get anything. Al used Valkyrie, but he's stuck in line of sight of Blue Dude, but Tommy's in the back line, able to take Blue Dude out of the equation, so now Sal is free to do whatever he wants. Tommy's still up top, taking shots on the Chrysler now. The Honey Badgers are going to drop their Transcendence. They've had to use quite a few ultimates so far this quarter, both support ultimates, and it's still sort of an even fight with Balance, or with Marble having dropped. It's a nice shatter on the Wesley. The barrage is out from Tommy, and that's going to take out Innovate, so it could still go either way. This is close to the last fight. The Squiggly Boys really need to take this home. Sal is pretty low in the back. They just need to get someone on him. They actually managed to cap the point during the fight. That's incredibly unlucky for the Honey Badgers.
You know, well, a lot of them were slowly dying. I think Tommy and Pierce were the only ones left. But they did buy a lot of time, which is great. So there's not a lot of time to get through that awkward choke and hanger. So if they get over the bridge and hanger, then they're pretty much solid. But if Honey Badgers win this team fight in hanger, this actually could be where it stops because it's very hard to get through it.
Yeah, this is a spot that it's very easy to push through if you have momentum, but if you don't have momentum, the defense can just set up in so many different places and have really good sight lines on the really vulnerable parts of the attacking team. Mundy's going to try to put some more pressure on the cart. Wesley drops down to contest it, and he's forced to use his Primal Rage. The self-destruct is going in on the offense, doesn't find anything, but it forces people back. Wesley's alone in the back line of the attacking team, but he manages to escape. Low cooldown on his jump with Primal Rage. At this point, the DPS of the Honey Badgers are managing to find the back line of the Siege³ Boys. The Siege³ Boys probably need to back out, and this is exactly what didn't want to happen.
Yeah, this is a little unfortunate. It's not impossible. It is very doable to push on through, but this is going to be, oh, wow. Oh, never mind. They're not going to be able to find any picks off that. I was going to be, like, mind-blown if there was a double kill, but Pierce does find Innovate. That's good on them. Pretty much they need to make sure that they focus on Pierce, and Blue Dude going over on the McCree is probably a good idea.
Now, they did manage to take Wesley out, punish them for that aggression. Pierce is still up top. He loses the duel with Blue Dude, which is impressive in such a range. Some nice shot up Blue Dude. That's a really nice zoning ult. Tommy's up top with the deflect, but it's Blue Dude is not looking to fall for it. So at this point, they still have a man advantage. They're trying to pressure the cart as much as possible, but the defending team has plenty of time.
They got it.
And it looks like they're not going to be able to touch in time. So again, the Squiggly Boys will manage to cap the, even though the Honey Badgers were capable of preventing it. That's happened for points now.
Yeah, a couple of points, but like that's because they in Gibraltar, if you are able to read where your opponent's going to be coming from, and it looked like a lot of them were coming from the high ground, usually they stay in one group and they'll just go through there. So if you can actually put a lot of pressure on there, just buy a little time to get to the point, then you're going to be fine. Now they got 2 minutes and 15 seconds, but it is going to be really hard to do it at this point.
Now the ult economy is very. The Squiggly Boys have a slight advantage. They're going to be in the fight. Send is there, so we're gonna fight.
Sal.
Meanwhile, Sal dies to Balance Cannon self-destruct. Blue Dude's gonna try to really finish the fight out with his Deadeye, and he is gonna find Wesley. That means this is probably gonna go the way of the Squiggly Boys. It's a nice Transcendence, blocking the damage from the pin also for Pierce 09. Pierce is able to escape with his life. Marble trying to contest point, gets demeched for it. No one's able to stop Chrysler from rezzing. Their momentum is slowed but not stopped on the side of the Squiggly Boys. Wesley in the back line, they need to deal with him. Mundy just trying to prevent Pierce from taking free shots on the front line. And Hippomate is somehow all the way in the back of the Squiggly Boys, manages to take out Blue Dude in a close range duel. So this actually could go the way of the Honey Badgers. Really huge spawn advantage that they have. They're just spawning so much closer to the cart than the attacking team.
Yeah, they're doing a good job right now, and like unfortunately, oh my god!
A nice double kill for Marble to really cement the team fight victory.
Wow, okay, well, as I was rudely interrupted by Marble's double, as I was trying to say, is that basically, unfortunately, on the side of Squiggly Boys, while they had a full ult economy, they dropped it right away. The moment I saw them get over the, sort of the initial elbow, they dropped that, like, Diva Bomb, and that was sort of a sign of things that they were getting really anxious.
That is a nice Dragon Blade they moved in on. Fortunately, it actually died in the back to Blue Dude's McCree. Lost the duel there. They are forcing Blue Dude to back up. He's going to die in the process, so this does remain Honey Badger's fight. 30 seconds left on the clock. A lot of ultimate. All 6 of them, whereas only 3 are available for this defending team, the Honey Badgers. We'll have to see how this plays out. I expect we'll see a lot of particle effects in this next fight, thanks to just the sheer number of ultimates that are going to get used. That's Deadeye and Self-Destruct, both out from the Squiggly Boys, neither one finding a lot of value. Pierce uses his Deadeye, meanwhile, a minute to take out Trampador. The Transcendence is out from Innovate, which allows Chrysler to res, but unfortunately, they aren't able to touch the point, and that's very unlucky.
Yeah, it's very unlucky to C9, but good for the side of Honey Badgers now that they can just prioritize. And if they go with double flanking DPS dive, they could possibly just close this out very, very quickly. Don't run goats.
Please don't run goats.
Do not run goats. Apparently they are very good at drinking beer.
Is that another fun fact? Another goat fun fact?
Another goat fact for you. Another fact is that if Mundy held on to that Diva Bomb a little bit more closer when the team fight began, they probably actually would have gotten a couple of kills. They did
I
manage to
don't
get the
believe
kill.
it was Monday on the Diva. I think it was who was it? It was Marvel that was playing Diva last point. Balance was the other Diva, I believe.
Marble, you're right. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
Marble was no wait. I'm talking about Attack Diva.
Oh, then that would be Balance Cannon.
Okay, Blitz Cannon is or Balance Cannon is going on that Diva. If they held it on just for a little bit longer, they probably would have been able to get a little more satisfying kills. Taking out the Mercy is always nice, but when it's close to spawn, it's kind of all for naught, and you're trying to just get the zoning so it's closer to the point. But in the long run, I also think there was just a lot of good target prioritization. Tommy with the Dragon Blade was super cool. Marble just also had good calls. They kind of used the ult to stagger and let the team fights happen naturally, and that's really good. But we'll see how this goes. I do like this dive. They went for the hybrid as opposed to double flanking sniper DPS, which is fine. And hopefully that this will pull through for them. You want to see how Tommy can just sort of overwhelm Blue Dude.
So Tommy is forced down off the high ground pretty fast. Thank you for the shield bash. Doesn't look like they really want to contest that that room in there. I think they're just going to want to apply some cart pressure. They have Wesley and Tommy sort of touch the high ground a little bit just to assert a little bit of pressure, force some resources out of the defending team, but it didn't do too much. Tommy wants to get up there. It was a bit of a risk with Innovate still potentially having been there. At this point, it looks like Squiggly Boys will drop down onto the point. Still not really wanting to start a fight quite yet.
No, but they got it through Car Wash, which is great. But that's a good opening as well from Pierce. But honestly, they got... Wow, okay, I'm just going to leave it to you.
I mean, Tommy manages to go in deep, finds Chrysler, then he manages to get out. Currently, he's battling Blue Dude in the back line, but that's not really the important duel. Right now, the important duel is the front line. Mundy wants to go help Blue Dude. That makes it important because now, if this is a 1v2, Tommy's going to lose it. Innovate dies on the front line, but the rest of the Squiggly Boys seem to be back in time to contest it. Sal's going to go for Valkyrie and res Tommy. That could be huge. Tommy being back up means that they could potentially get somebody on the back line that forces them back. Tommy has... no cooldowns at this point, and Pierce 09 is again up top, pretty much uncontested. The grab comes out, Tommy has his blade, he's going to take out Innovate and Chrysler and Trapdoor. Mundy actually tries to swing it with a Shatter, but it's not going to be enough. Pierce 09 finishing out the fight with 2 kills onto the tanks.
Yep, well, I mean, they went for this straight up dive, didn't go for the goats. I'm very proud of them. Those are my kids. And Pierce getting that pick off Chrysler is nicely done. Honestly, this is very good, and the initial pressure they're doing. Jesus Christ, Pierce! Could I finish a sentence without somebody dying?
No, you're not allowed to. Pierce doesn't want that to be. Pierce wants to just keep getting kill after kill after kill. Let's see if he'll do it again. He's in another duel right now. If he wins this duel, the res is waiting for both Widowmakers, so it's not actually that important of a duel.
If they win this Widow duel, I'm going to donate $1 to the prize pool.
Well, the money's not going to the prize pool anymore. It's funny you should bring up the donations, though, because right now we are still accepting donations for future seasons of Siege³. The donation, you can click on the button right below the stream, and all the money goes towards donations. We don't keep any of it. It all goes towards future seasons of Siege³. Looks like right now Pierce does fall, but the rest is waiting for him. Like I said, the self-destruct goes out. It's going to find the mech, and it's going to take out Balance Cannon. That's very unfortunate for the Squiggly Boys as Honey Badgers continues to surge forward. Mundy just trying to touch cart. It's getting really, really dangerous now for the Squiggly Boys as the Honey Badgers push into the last point with over 5 minutes remaining.
5 minutes left on the clock. They do have to go through a little bit of support ults, which is annoying in itself, but they are able to push on through. If Tommy gets a good Dragon Blade and waits out for a couple of the support ults to be dropped, then, I mean, they'll be good as golden.
So it looks like they're going to pop a rally here. They have every moving forward with some more ultimates to see what they can get. It's going to find Pierce 09 as long as they can prevent that from being res. And dude, they collapse on Sal. They know she's waiting to res it. And they find her and they take her out of the equation. Now they just have to take Marble, leave her out of the mech probably. Yep, just going to let her do her thing, go back, force her to swap. That's the Trapdoor is actually going to find her with the right click later on. Tommy and Wesley are still sort of touching the point, but they're probably going to die for it fairly soon. No, Wesley manages to get out, gets the healing he needs to survive. A lot of ultimates are going to be in play for this next fight.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say, looking at the ultimates though, the Dragon Blade is going to be great along with the Primal Rage for zoning. It's going to add a little bit of panic, and on top of that, they could also Transcendence Dragon Blade, which is very effective. And then the Valkyrie is just good stuff.
Massive shatter, managed to get 3 people, 2 squishies down instantly, and Wesley already down to half. I'm sort of surprised Tommy wasn't hit by that shatter. It looked like it was close enough to him that it should have affected him, but it actually didn't.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you, but maps are big sometimes, and they can be able to dodge stuff. Bullets Cannon will follow up and take out Tommy, but I don't know. I think Pierre switching on to the Pharaoh is a good idea. There's not a lot of hit scan to respond to this, and looking at this, I would say necessarily this is going to be a little bit hard because it's very much an uphill battle.
Blue Dude manages to get a nice stick onto Sal way in the backline of the Honey Badgers, and they aren't sure if they should commit far into their own backline to get rid of Blue Dude, or if they should just let him be because he's so far away. He's not having an impact on the fight right now anyways. It looks like what they're going to do is they're going to commit Tommy to go contest him. Blue forces out the abilities from Blue Dude, and it looks like they are going to collapse on this. There's a chance they could actually kill him right now, but it's so far in their backline, I'm not sure it's really a good way to use their... He can just sort of stay back there as long as he wants, as long as he's careful about it. But at this point, there's a lot of ultimates for the Honey Badgers. If that's unfortunately going to find 3! Fantastic self-destruct from Ballard's Cannon finds the Pharmacy and Hippo Mage, all in an unfortunate position. Free team fight win after all that time. Just one ultimate was able to completely shut down the Honey Badgers. They do finally manage to take out Blue Dude, though.
Great! they took out Blue Dude, and they stood there for the they literally stood there waiting. I don't think they were expecting the Diva. I guess they thought the Diva Bomb was too high, but they were also high up on the roof, so I don't know what to tell you. There's a Dragon Blade though. It seems to be working out in their favor.
Sal manages to get the res in the middle of all the action. A nice Dragon Blade from Tommy will probably secure the team fight win. They still have 2 minutes left for this to take this fight home. Losing this map would not be the end of the game, but it would put them in a really bad position as it would be game for the Honey Badgers in the next map. And it looks like the Honey Badgers are being unrelenting in their target focus. They still have another ult in their back pocket, and they can't. The Squiggly Boys can't even get out of spawn. The Honey Badgers will definitely take this map home.
My God! After that triple Diva Bomb, well, all right then.
What can you say? You can win yourself one team fight, but can you do it twice?
That was ridiculous. Tommy definitely gonna get the pog there. Honestly, I must say this is that they are just gonna go ahead and just make a really great vid highlight for that pogger right there. All right, but also on top of that, it was good hero switching. I would say in the long run, just starting off the dive initially just allowed them so much time as opposed to trying to go with goats, and that was a really big part of it. And I'm harping on the goats, but that's like because I care about these people, and I think they can do amazing without the goats. I feel like
I care about these people.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I don't want to see them fall prey to playing more goats.
Well, the thing is that goats has become such a crutch. They're like, I don't want to deal with this goats, and it's not going to always work. You can't just go goats.
There are counters in the game.
There are counters in the game, and like honestly, that was just a big thing. Time Bank just played into there, and especially with Gibraltar being such a big map, Time Bank is especially important. So in the long run, I understand you're trying to cover as much time as you can within a short amount of spurts, but with goats. But like the thing is that there's always going to be a widow. It's just going to happen. It's just there's good snipers, and if there's a great sniper, they're going to use Gibraltar the hell out of it on defense. So they have to be very, very careful. So in the long run, good stuff to Honey Badgers. We may have actually seen a little bit of a different stories if Honey Badgers had to go on attack first. Who knows? But
it is possible, yeah.
Yeah, because as attack, you dictate the length of the game, really. Depending on how aggressive you are or how tactical you are. But we'll see how that works in the long run. I think, honestly, I have no complaints about the play style. I think, honestly, there's good ult usage. A couple of them were a little bit early, beyond my comfort level, but I understand in that moment we're getting from a caster vision. So, honestly, a lot of the stuff that I may be saying is probably inaccurate to what's feeling in the moment. and sometimes you just got to go with your gut instinct, and that's something we also as casters need to remember, is that the players have so much going on while we're just sort of sitting in the back
absolutely.
watching.
We have it easy. We can point out all the little
And we
nitpicky as we
always,
want.
you and I, we always make it further than, like, we always go to grand finals, so we're just used to it. So it's like, oh, we're in grand finals now, great.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, in the long run, I would say very good stuff. It's match point for Honey Badgers, but Squiggly Boys ain't over yet.
Absolutely not. The Squiggly Boys have been relatively undefeated so far in Siege, and they can absolutely still pull it back. If they win this game, they have a clean season the whole way through, and they claim the cash prize. Even if they don't claim the cash prize, they earned their spot here at the grand finals, and I think both of these teams deserve a huge amount of respect for the amount of time they've put into practicing, into playing the game, into getting good at the game, and working together as a team. Because these people, most of them did not know each other before they were put on a team together. Some of them knew some of the people on their team, but a lot of the people who are on teams together in Siege, they did not know each other before they signed up. So let me just tell them the casters are ready to begin the game. Oh man, my throat's getting sore. This is the worst time to come down with something right as I need to be casting for 4 hours.
Well, then let's hope Honey Badger can close this out.
Well, I don't have favorites.
I don't have favorites either. I just want your voice to get well.
Yeah, well, it's because I'm sick, not because I'm using it, so odds are it'll keep getting worse anyways, but it's
Alright.
okay.
Well, at least we can cool it down in this lovely cold map called Volskaya Industries.
Absolutely.
Which is
It does
both
look like there's
cold
a lot
in
of fog,
temperatures
so-
and cold in composition.
What does that mean?
That means goats.
I hope it doesn't.
I
I've
mean,
been seeing a whole lot of goats so far today.
yeah, we have been seeing. a whole
But
lot.
looking at the team comps,
Okay, wow.
we are going to have goats coming out from Squiggly Boys, it looks
Spark, are you kidding me? Goats? We haven't seen this in years.
like. Whoa!
Oh my
Goats!
god,
What are
goats
the
in
odds?
let's see. Here's some more let's see.
I thought goats died with my hopes that we'd never see goats again.
Well, bad news. Goats are like cockroaches. They're just all over
Goats
the place.
are like cockroaches.
Little fun fact about goats
or,
is they actually contain the key to immortality and they never die.
That's
Oh,
true.
thanks, Fish.
You're welcome. All right, bye.
So here's how so here's another language fact to bridge our nationalities together. Goats in Russian is kozy.
Kotzi?
Kozy.
Kozy. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I speak a little bit of Russian, so. But I'd like to see that written out so I can actually know I'm pronouncing it. Anyways, so
it is
countdown
spelled
is going to start here.
K-O backwards 3 BL.
Oh, Kotzu. That should be pretty close to how it's pronounced. Anyways, so we have here goats on offense, Squiggly Boys, surging forward. Now they wanted to get Blue Dude on the Roadhog off to the side. They're actually not on goats. They're on Slambulance. We were talking about that before, they wanted to speed him off to the side, see if they could hook Wesley, but unfortunately, Shield was able to be rotated at the last second. Nothing came of it. So they're in a bit of a tough position right now. They have two squishies that they don't want to in Pierce's line of sight. They really need to find someone, but the defense, the Honey Badgers, is doing a really good job at rotating and not committing to anything.
Here's Tommy.
Trampidor tries to shut down Pierce on the Widow, but Marvel is there to keep him up. Wesley's just touching point. He goes for the pin, but unfortunately he's taken straight out of it. And at this point, it might be Squiggly Boy is able to take this point. That said, Pierce gets a nice shot onto Innovate. Really need to start winning the fight. The hook misses onto Tommy, so if Tommy stays up, this is winnable. That's a nice self-destruct. The bubble and the shield are both there, so nobody dies to it. It looks like Squiggly Boys are slowly winning this fight.
Oh
so nice
my God,
hook onto Pierce as well. Nothing you can do about it. Sal's just going to want to jump off the map. He doesn't want to get staggered any more than he has to. He knows the point's lost. Might as well jump off. Ballas has already got his Graviton Surge, so they have a lot of momentum coming to this. In fact, they also have Whole Hog if they are very
Oh my
careful
God.
when they play this, they can grab Whole Hog and immediately win the fight. Unfortunately, Transcendence is there from Hippo Mage, and so it won't get any kills. Shatter is there to follow up, but Tommy's there with the barrage. Trampidor manages to get on top of him, and he doesn't
What
find
the
anything.
hell?
Sal gets hooked. And Sal is still up, but he's incredibly low. There's a lot of CC being used. Both supports are knocked down.
No
but neither
way!
die. Pierce is taking shots up top, but he's about to get shut down by Chrysler on the Lucio and Trevor on the
No!
Diva. Nothing he can do. The point immediately goes to the Squiggly Boys. 6 minutes left on the cap time.
I'm done. That's
Wow.
Would you like to have another little known fact?
yeah.
Sure.
Okay, little known fact. The Slambulance is actually the #1 killer of goats every year.
Goats don't
very
look both
sad.
ways when they cross the street.
That is
Don't
true.
need to say.
They get the roadkill.
And for any of you who don't know, the person who keeps hopping in to make surprise appearances is Fish. He is the co-creator of Siege³ with me. He, what a great friend and super reliable.
What? It's just, man. I gotta say, I'm upset. And also on top of that, I also must say this is they. I don't know what to say. It's like I couldn't process that at all. I was just like, "What a hook!" I would say the reach that Roadhog has and just the hook accuracy was just so impressive. So the fact of the matter is that they didn't go Diva and just went Roadhog was such a great idea, and especially the Whole Hog. Granted, it wasn't used effectively just due to the fact that there was Transcendence. It baited out the Transcendence and it worked that way as
That
well.
allowed the Shatter to go through
Yeah.
afterwards, I think.
Oh man, I wonder if we're gonna see goats.
Actually,
but
it looks like we have
we're
a more
looking
traditional
dive.
dive composition.
Yeah.
on the
Looks like
side of
Korean
the Honey
dive.
Badgers. Yeah, they have a Widowmaker set up, and they seem to have Lucio Zen, which is interesting. When you have a sniper, usually you want to take a murder in that damage boost pocket and res them if they manage to step out of line a little bit too much. We have a very brawly deathball composition coming out from the defense, the Squiggly Boys, but they also put a pharmacy on it, probably to account for the fact that there might be a sustain-based composition on the offense from the Honey Badgers, but that isn't going to be the case. We're going to see a very traditional dive here, but with a Moira. Very
Moira's-
interesting.
It is very interesting. Oh my god.
Blue Dude manages to take Tommy out really, really quickly. Marvel tries to commit onto Chrysler, but not going to be enough. There is support, so you definitely won't lose Marvel across this. But Blue Dude's trying to take an angle on the right side. Mundy does manage to die, but if Blue Dude gets any kills, this is really bad. Marvel shuts him down. The Tracer is also there. Blue Dude really needs healing. Unfortunately, it's not there for him. Mundy gets res, but the DPS is down. That's a lot of the firepower out of play. And at this point, Sal's going crazy, trying to get on Chrysler in the back line. The kills are coming through for Squiggly Boys, but so the same is happening for the Honey Badgers. Mundy doesn't manage to get the pin on the Hippo Mage, and it's just Mundy on point now. Balance is alive, but he's already at 90% to his Graviton. He has his Graviton, actually, for the next push. The rate at which Balance Cannon builds his Graviton pushes is just incredible.
Yeah, and great stuff there. They were a little bit overwhelmed. I think. Oh my god. Okay. Just. All right. Well, I mean, they're gonna run into a little bit of hard. RA Wesley taking a little bit of damage, but I think overall this is going to be very good. If they use the Coalescence while they're on point as opposed to going towards point, they actually might be pretty good.
So they know Pierce is set up sort of on the high ground on the right. He wants to try to get somewhere behind the enemy. He's gonna go for that now. It's a nice pick onto Blue Dude. I think the res is waiting for him, but only if he's in the resable position. I can't quite tell where
I don't
it
think
died.
so. They were at high ground. It was where Tommy was.
Can't res that there. So the Coalescence, they're pushing in hard now. Mundy has the Shatter. She can finish it whenever she wants, really. They just have to watch the self-destruct. The Grav ensures that they are going to get the kills needed to keep the point here. It's a nice stick, but Balance Cannon has the bubble available to help up. So they are going to push the Honey Badgers back.
I have an idea.
Yeah?
Okay, it involves 3 supports and 3 tanks.
I hope we don't see goats here. I don't think
Okay.
goats is the answer.
No?
Not against a pharmacy that has barrage.
That's true. And also they gotta be careful of the flanking, and Wesley needs to be able to get some zoning out of the way or bait out something with it. Monday also has a good air shower. They just need to do they need to dry push now.
Mundy's Shatter whiffs, doesn't manage to get anything. A nice stick, but it doesn't actually kill anything. A barrage in the back, not quite out of mech. Sal manages to kill Trampador before it actually gets any kills. And at this point, the fight is all over the place. Wesley's trying to knock Balance Cannon off the map, make him lose his charge, but it's not going to happen quite that way. He's finally going to get knocked off the map by Sal. Wesley's actually going to take the kill. Lots of kills coming through for the Honey Badgers all the way back on points as well. And looks like the Honey Badgers will get at least a tick out of this. Blue Dude will be able to touch, but he may not be able to stay there for long as he is quickly shot down by Tommy. Innovate is again going to be able to touch. Balance Cannon doesn't quite get knocked off. There is a grab out on the field. The beat drop prevents it from getting any kills, but now it's fairly even. We have another Hammond set up on the point, swinging in circles. We'll see how long it takes them to deal with that. Trampador is just sort of doing his best to stay alive. They do manage to take out Pierce and res Balance Cannon. That could be huge. Lack of Pierce means that's a lot of damage that they don't have to kill more of the Squiggly Boys. May has finally walled herself into the side of the point.
Captain
They're
America.
trying to stall there. See if they can last long enough to get
Jesus
any more
Christ!
kills. Tommy has a nice kill. Unfortunately,
Everybody dead.
self-destruct.
Everybody is
point.
dead.
So both teams have managed to cap the point with a lot of time remaining, which is very, very interesting.
Wow.
We
Okay.
got 4 minutes left for the Honey Badgers and 6 for the Squiggly Boys.
Yeah.
What do you think? Thoughts on what we saw?
No. It's just really good Widow plays. Honestly, the fact is that Widow was uncontested because they were so focused on contesting the point as opposed to the bigger picture that it was just about managed stalling and so many hero switches. So the lack of ults was just really against them. So at that moment, I was just like, why did you do that? You could just like still fight this out as like a normal fight and not panic as much. But I guess they were just so interested in contesting that they totally forgot about ult usage. And now we're probably going to see goats. Or I actually wouldn't be surprised if this went into a draw.
This could go into a draw just based off. What usually happens there is there'll be another round of both teams capping 2 points, and then they'll both either get full hold or only be able to get 3 ticks on the first point and then nothing on the second point. That's usually what happens in my experience. Whenever you have games quite like this that are surprisingly evenly matched, but also you're capping the point really fast. So we have Blue Dude on the Sombra on the defense, which is a choice. Gonna see if they can harass the Widowmaker. Doesn't quite manage to kill Tommy. The healing is there. Probably gonna want to get out now. Doesn't want to commit further to that. Very close to taking Tommy out of the equation, but he's back up now. So someone's harassing in the back line. That would be Pierce 09 on the Tracer there. Wesley's going to commit to a dive onto the front line, which is an interesting choice. He just wants to pressure the off tank, I believe, get ballots out of there. They need to try to get Marble out alive. That's going to happen. They managed to take out Blue Dude in the process, but the res is there. Sal is trying. They try to collapse on Crystal.
Wow.
But it's not quite enough. Marble manages to knock 2 off with the thrusters. A really great play will probably win them the point. Now at this point, Ballas is stuck in the corner. Not too much he can do. Mercy healing won't really save him, unless it will. But Mercy's finally down, so
It's not goats. That's good.
it's not goats.
Alright.
That's all you have to say.
Yeah, well, I can also say is that that was a very good double kill from Marble. Honestly, just the mobility that the composition had, there was really so much more range for the side of Honey Badgers that really Squiggly Boys couldn't really handle it with the composition that we were running. Blue Dude was really the
managed
only
to get
response.
all the way in the back there and take out Tommy. Sorry, continue.
No, it's fine. I was just going to say Blue Dude, before they so interrupted me, Blue Dude is really the only mobility that they had. And look at that.
Now, they're coming into this next fight. Squiggly Boys only has one ult, EMP, and that is one of the strong in the game. It's absolutely the best ult to initiate a fight with. He probably wants to get in the back, see if he can get another pick, and really quickly just end this next fight before he even starts. Gonna try to harass Tommy a little bit more. Flashbangs out, but Tommy has the high ground, so it's unlikely the kill will come through. Never mind, Balance manages to follow up with a right click, and so there was a nice opening made by Blue Dude, who can escape anytime he wants thanks to that nice nifty little teleporter. Now in the backline of the Squiggly Boys, we have Pierce09. He gets hacked. That's unlucky for him. Self-destruct comes in. It probably won't find anything. No, it does. It finds Chrysler, but the spawn advantage probably means it's not a good choice to push this. I'm not sure I would. That does force the Transcendence out and the Graviton and the EMP. That's a lot of ultimates that are being used just to keep the Honey Badgers off this point right now. I'm not sure you needed the Graviton, and the EMP probably also could have been saved. I think the Transcendence was really all you needed to make sure you didn't lose this point. Now, as I say that, a lot of kills are coming through for the Honey Badgers. Tramador gets stuck. The Shatter doesn't get anyone but Pierce, and Balance is barely able to take him out. He gets 3 in the process. It does look like this fight goes to the Squiggly Boys.
Yeah, but a lot of ults have to have dropped for the side of Squiggly Boys to be able to hold on to it. They only got Valkyrie and then that whole hog coming in. The rest is sort of going to be up in the air as opposed to what they are going to get at what time. Maybe the barrage if they get it quick enough, but that's going to be a little bit that's going to be yet to see. If they can get that pick off the Blitz Cannon, then pretty much this team fight could be able to take some of the...
I would like to point out, Balance is already back up to 80% of his next Graviton.
Yeah, but
That's
if they
some
get that
impressive
pick right
growth.
away, then they could.
And Blue Dude's already close to another EMP as well. Balance has got his Graviton. He can use it whenever he wants. You just have to watch that defense matrix. He's going to use it right there. He gets 2. Let's see what happens with this. The EMP completely shuts down the beat drop that the Lucio uses. Squiggly Boys are starting to fall. Some nice ultimates being used from the Honey Badgers. Wesley managed to take out 2. Balance gets rezzed, but he has no charge, so he's not a lot of damage not worth a lot of damage, rather. Tramador is trying to use his ult. He's trying to do what he can to keep him off this point, but it looks like the fight is already lost. Balance is going to have to try to touch, but it's not going to happen. Mundy's charging out of the point, manages to not pick up Sal, just barely misses him. Blue Dude and Chrysler are just now trying to stagger on the point. This is a really bad-looking fight for the Squiggly Boys. The ults are just fighting so much value. So we have another Hammond on the field, just wants to latch on to something, start swinging in circles, but it's not going to happen. Lots of high sustained heroes that are sort of tough to dislodge coming out from the Squiggly Boys. You got Diva, you got May, you got Hammond. Lucio's coming in to touch. If they can get this into overtime, that's already a huge advantage for the Squiggly Boys in the next round, although the fight might already be lost unless they can take out Hippomage, who has just had to back up. The Coalescence is out here, so we'll see if that gets anything. It doesn't manage to take out Balance Cannon, keep the rest of the team up. It's just Blue Dude. Innovate's on point right now, doesn't manage to get into his cryo. The point will get capped.
Well, now you did that, but you have 6 minutes coming up. Great stuff. Now, I don't know if the counter dive would be a good idea, but it seems like dive is such a strong composition for Honey Badgers that maybe the counter dive might be just the answer.
That is true. The Honey Badgers have been having some really great luck every time they try to run a position. The Squiggly Boys are in a pretty good situation here. They just need to cap 2 points, and if they have time remaining, then it's at worst case a draw, which... you know what? Now that I mention it, if they draw this point, I believe they still lose the set. So they do need to cap both points with time remaining. I believe it's 2-1 for Honey Badgers right now. So if the Squiggly Boys win this one, we'll go to Ilios tiebreaker. I think it's Ilios. And so yeah, Squiggly Boys is playing for the tiebreaker now. On the defense, it looks like we'll have a dive composition coming in. Here's
So-
on the Sombra.
If we tie, does Honey Badger win?
I believe if this map ties, Honey Badgers will win. Yes.
Okay. Well, they got 6
right.
minutes, so it's not impossible for them
And
to...
here comes the Slambulance. Well, hey, man, if it works, it works, I guess. Am I right?
Yeah, it ain't goat, so fair enough. They are running the counter dive, so that's going to be exciting to see how that works out.
So they're going to try to get on the high ground this time. A little bit of a communication issue with the Trampador. Probably not going to be the end of the world. Pierce is trying to get in the back line, see if he can find anything. It doesn't look like they know exactly how they want to commit to this. The Hoki is going to find Marble, but of course Marble's got armor, so it's only going to do some half damage. And at this point, it's just a lot of poke between the two front lines, trying to figure out where a good opening is. So it looks like now they are gonna push out. Slambulet's doing its thing. It's slamming. It's violencing, I guess. And unfortunately, it's not actually gonna really get too much out of it. Marble does manage to fall, but both Mundy and Blue Dude will also fall to Wesley and Sal. And so it could still go either way. If they keep Chrysler up, it could be theirs, but unfortunately with the fall of Chrysler, I think it will go to the Honey Badgers for this push, which is not too great considering that the Squiggly Boys just lost a push and gave the Honey Badgers a lot of ult charge to work with. You can see they already have Primal Rage and Coalescence, and EMP and Beat Drop are not far behind. That said, Balance Cannon is close to his Graviton Surge already, as always.
Yeah, I would say honestly that this was a really good idea going the Slambulance route just because of the overwhelming defense it has, but they need to be careful that Dive has a lot of flanking, so they need to make sure to watch their 6.
Yes, definitely. That's a nice hack on a Chrysler. It could mean he dies. The EMP is there, but it doesn't do too much. It doesn't manage to really stop anything from happening. It does manage to catch Balance out with the self-destruct. Another self-destruct, this time from Trampador. Unfortunately, it got... Oh, and the whole hog zoned someone away from the self-destruct, but it did manage to pick up Tommy. So now the B-drop is going to come in. This should cement the push for the Squiggly Boys if they can focus somebody down. They need to deal with either Hippo Mage or Pierce. Wesley is not as big of an issue as the 2 damage dealers in the group. Pierce is going to fall, and now it's just Sal, who hopefully can either touch the point or jump off the map before it finishes capping, because they don't want to be in a situation where he's going to be still respawning as the Squiggly Boys push into the point.
I mean, very job well done. They were able to use the ults as responses as opposed to actions, so that allowed them to sort of gauge the situation. They're going to be aggressive, so let's see how this works out.
That is a nice shatter comes through. Unfortunately, the beat drop prevents a lot of follow-up. The charge doesn't quite hit, and the Honey Badgers are finding the backline. The Slambulance running Squiggly Boys. Mundy's gonna get hacked and is completely helpless. Trampador is not entirely sure. Doesn't want to get demeched, because if he gets demeched, he's gonna have to jump off the map or switch back. That's very unlucky. They are definitely just gonna leave him. He's gonna have to beeline for the cliff. That's gonna add a few seconds to his respawn timer.
Now we're gonna see. Yeah, it's gonna be a respawn timer, but they have plenty of time left in the time bank, and they are switching it up a little bit. It looks like they're going to maybe go for a dive potentially, or they might be just sticking with the Slambulance but switching up the DPS.
Right. It does look like that's what they're doing.
Farrah could definitely work well. Yeah, well, the Farrah could work well. The splash damage could work great with Trampador as the follow-up killer, and Mundy just sort of has a little more protection and allows them to be a little more passive, and that's kind of what you want out of your Reinhardt, so that way they can just go ahead, drop Shatter, and then go aggressive. So this is very small.
This could be a big combo here. It's going to get 2. Marble has really been working well with the P's from Pierce so far today. The Honey Badgers is just really on top, combining their ultimates in all of their team fights. They're pretty efficient with it. You know, I believe the last match I casted for the Honey Badgers, they had a big issue with their ult management, where they would just use all of their ultimates at once and just not seem to find any joint value. They really seem to have fixed that among themselves.
They certainly did quite the combo, and I do like the fact that they have the Dragon Strike, the Sound Barrier on the way, and then the Primal Rage and Coalescence could work very well. The Primal Rage could charge right in, the Coalescence could be going in, but maybe in the immortal words of Ghostbusters, they can cross the streams, and Innovate can help contest.
Marble trying to take out Blue Dude, but there's just so much healing, just barely works. And Chrysler is hacked. That could be huge. Huge shatter, preventing any sort of follow-up onto Chrysler until Wesley goes in with the Primal Rage, shuts him down. This is all the healing is gone now for the Squiggly Boys, and they've committed ultimates. That's really unlucky for them. And at this point, they have about an equal ultimate economy with the defending team, a little bit better since they have Graviton, and the other team only has Beaten Dragons. Could still win. This is absolutely still winnable. They don't need to have time remaining, but if they a bit more comfortable.
I would say definitely this was a very smart move from Wesley in this case, because the Primal Rage, you saw him leap over and not try to go for the tank, but go for the healer, because he knows that if the healer's knocked out, things are going to start falling apart, taking out from the back line and moving on forward and sandwiching them in, and that was just so smart.
1 minute left here. We're going to see him moving forward. The Dragons come out from the side. Doesn't really manage to zone. Ballots gets hacked before he can use the grab. Trepidor is there to try to keep him up. Wesley wants to knock him off the high ground. They're trying to focus Ballots. They know he has grab. They don't want him to use it. The
be
grab
careful.
comes out. So does the self. So does the barrage. That could be huge. Marvel gets a triple kill with the self-destruct. Completely shuts down the push. That was the push for the Squiggly Boys. And with that triple kill, this could end up being the play that prevents the Squiggly Boys from taking home the cash prize.
Oh my god, Marble, you mad person. That is absolutely insane, and they got that EMP waiting in the wing. 30 seconds left. Can they even push it? They're going to be staggered. They have to go on without Mundy.
Yeah, they don't really have a choice here. They don't have the time to wait for Mundy to fully respawn. I mean, she'll be there soon, but it's really cutting it close. They're going to put Ballast Cannon onto the Hammond just for a little bit of extra sustain, I suppose. They're in deep trouble here because Pierce 09 has the EMP, and as we discussed before, this is an incredibly
the
powerful
point!
ultimate. Ballast Cannon is going to get on the point. Not much is going to happen. The EMP is about to come out right here. Pierce 09's going for it. The Trepidor is also going to fall. All the ultimates are being used. South does manage to fall, but Trepidor is team-mech. Marvel is also team-mech. Squiggly Boys has a slight man advantage in this fight. They are finding kills. If they can take this home, it'll be just enough. They only need to win this fight, and they have a chance. Unfortunately, Hippomage loses the duel, or wins the duel against Innovate. This could still go either way. They have man advantage. One of the healers has been rezzed for the Squiggly Boys, so it looks like they are possibly going to cap the point if they can deal with this respawn stall. There's 4 people now. It's a 4v4. If Mundy falls, that's really bad. They need to keep Mundy up. It's a lot of
Primal
healing available.
Rage!
It's a nice self-destruct, but they can't really follow up on it thanks to the dragon.
Oh, the pin!
Unfortunately, Innovate falls to the dragon. Mundy is also going to be falling in a moment, I think. This could still go either way, but unfortunately, the Honey Badgers are slowly coming back. Another
the
EMP
EMP!
in the middle of the fight, and there's just nothing the Squiggly Boys can do.
That's it.
That's it. Ladies and gentlemen, the Honey Badgers have won the first season of Siege³. What a journey this has been.
It has been quite the journey, and I must say it was a good way to finish it off with no goats. And I must also say, in a serious note, that they have just, it was such a great alt usage, and Marble getting in with that triple was absolutely amazing. This isn't the triple that we saw earlier, but it was such a great response. If it wasn't for Marble getting that triple, that would have been game over.
Marble has been doing so well today, really knowing exactly when and where to put the Diva Bombs. Even if some of the accident, his game sense has just been on point with it today. Even in past games that I've seen him play, he's been really, really good about getting value out of his Diva Bombs. He very rarely throws them out to accomplish nothing. He's definitely got some very learned skill that comes with playing a lot of Diva. So there you have it, folks. That concludes the first ever season of the Siege³ Community Tournament. And I would like to give a huge thank you to all the players who made this possible. All of you people who are watching as well. You're the people that we really are doing this for. You guys rock. The fact that you care enough about this to come watch it with us and come share this moment with us, it really means a lot to us. I would like to have Fish join us in the voice chat, and you know, Fish and I would just like to thank everybody so much for being here, as the two of us are. It's been so much fun for Fish and I to work on Siege³, I think.
Absolutely. Honestly, this is definitely like one of the highlights of my life, I would say. This is like genuinely one of the most fun projects that I've ever worked on, and it just makes it like all so much better just knowing that other people also enjoy watching or experiencing like something that I put so much work into.
Yeah, I feel the exact same way. It's almost surreal, the fact that so many of you guys are watch these games that we've match made, and it doesn't always go perfectly, but there's always just as many of you watching the games there on Twitch, and we still have plenty of people messaging us with compliments, telling us we've done a great job with Siege, and yeah, it really means a lot to us. So thank you all so much. And before we wrap it up for the end all be all of the first season of Siege³, I would like to remind everybody we are fairly confident there will be a season 2 of Siege³. And so if any of you would like to donate to season 2 of Siege³, it's the donations that really let us have the high quality we do when it comes to these streams. They let us have great people like Bemi and Ben here to help us make it a really enjoyable experience for us as well as for you guys who are watching. And so if you would like to donate to the second season of Siege³, the button is right underneath the Twitch that you are watching right now. It's labeled Siege³ Community Tournament Donations. And we don't keep any of it. It all goes straight to Siege³. Anything we don't spend it on gets set aside to be used on the next season. So is there anything you would like to add, Fish?
I don't think so.
I think not. A huge thank you to Ben Viglo and Bemi, our wonderful broadcaster and producer, and our equally wonderful co-caster for me. These two have really made it a delightful experience, and they brought a lot to the table. So thank you so much, both of you, for being here. Okay, I think that's about everything I wanted to cover. So one last time, thank you so much to all the viewers, and I will see you guys next season.
Bye.
Bye-bye.